And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live in the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the Epstein list has been released. Again, Jeffrey Epstein, the man who allegedly deleted himself under very confusing circumstances, that list of his associates has been unsealed. It has been released, and we have some early information. Your main man, Stephen Hawking, the wheelchair guy who talked with a keyboard, he was allegedly in the big underage orgy. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more a little bit later. Also, Claudine Gay got resigned, if that's the correct phrase, forced out. She was forced to resign from her post over at Harvard due to anti-Semitism, but really it was the plagiarism that took her over the edge. If not for the plagiarism, then I think she'd still be at her post. We'll talk about that particular story a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Japan plane crash, which was a tragedy and a miracle. One plane had 5 deceased out of 6 total passengers. The pilot survived, but the actual jet with nearly 400 souls on board, nobody lost their life. Really crazy. Also, Charlamagne Tha God says, I'm not going to endorse Biden anymore. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And boy, oh boy, we got a lot going on. Look, the Epstein list just came out like an hour or so ago. It just got released, and we're going to see some things from that because we're already seeing some stuff right here. Let me give you a preview because we're going to get into it. Okay, we will get into it. I know that you guys want to hear about that, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But here's a quick preview. And now normally I just do my shout outs for the sponsors and shout out to you guys. But look, check this out. Look at this right here. Okay, your main man right here, Stephen Hawking. In case you've forgotten who I'm talking about, I'm going to show you this guy. This guy was allegedly involved with an underage orgy. Allegedly. I'm not trying to get sued by this man's estate if he's still living. I'm not trying to have him come to my house with a little keyboard talking about, hey, you spreading gossip and rumors about me or whatever. But check it out. Jeffrey Epstein documents show PFAL email Ghislaine Maxwell to deny claims Professor Stephen Hawking participated in underage orgy at Predator's Island. Okay? So why is this guy wrapped up in it? You'd be surprised. Hey, ABL, this guy can't even move. Look, when there's a will, listen to me very closely. When there's a will, there's a way. This guy, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Stephen Hawking, actually, since we're right here. This one, what I'm going to say right now is verifiable fact. He was married to a woman as he descended into his sickness that left him immobile. Because before he got into the chair, he was mobile. He was able to move around. He was normal, but he had a disease that left him in the state. Now, while he was descending, he had nurses around him. This man cheated on his wife, one of the nurses, and wound up getting with her. I lie to you not. Wow, this guy's like, can't even move. He needs help moving around. One of the nurses, he left his wife for. You can't make it up. So just because this guy's in the chair and can't move does not mean anything. And we're going to get into that list a little bit later. He dead? Yeah, he dead. But hey, you know, Epstein dead too. Epstein dead, he dead, so what? The list coming out, and if you are attached to Epstein, it doesn't matter that Epstein's dead, you still might have a problem, okay? Yeah, Stephen Hawking's had some problems, but we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it, so y'all just hang tight. Don't worry about nothing. We're going to get into everything. But first and foremost, shout out to the sponsor. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will be in the box, or you could just visit patriotpost.us in the browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, check out my merch website, ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. Go to the front page of the website. We have articles for each video that I produce. You'll be able to find my sources, left, right, independent, local, national, international, whatever you need. It'll be right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. And we will get into Cat Williams. Don't you worry. And you know what? I have a great way to intertwine Cat Williams into the whole Jeffrey Epstein kerfuffle and to Harvey Weinstein. Okay. But we'll get into all of that in a little bit. We're going to get into it. Go to the contact page on my website, anthonyblogan.com/contact, to find all my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not going to call it X. All that good stuff will be right there. Also, you can find my email address, my snail mail address. All that will be right there on the website. And as I say in every single live stream, please don't get scammed. If I post a video and you reply to my video and then someone replies to your reply and they say they're me, they got my picture talking about, hey, you can get $500 million, just wire me $1,985.25 to this Apple iTunes gift card. Please don't do it. You're getting robbed. You're getting scammed. And in 2024, this is the very first show of 2024. We're not going to get robbed anymore. We're not going to get scammed anymore. We're not going to get conned anymore. We're not going to get lied to, gaslit, or anything like that anymore, okay? We're not going to fall for some bald-headed Nigerian guy in a 100-square-foot room with 45 other guys in it. We're not going to fall for this guy trying to steal our money, nor are we going to fall for some guy over in Kiev, Ukraine, in some burnt-out block talking about, hey, can you send me some money? I'm really ABL. We're not going to fall for that, okay? You eating borscht all day, laying on a cement floor, and you weigh 10,500 pounds. Nobody has time for that. We are not going to fall for it. So shout out to you guys for being here. I really, really appreciate you. We're going to get into a lot. And it might get a little bit spicy. If you got kids, cover their ears, because we're going to get into Cat Williams and some of the things that he said. If you don't know who Cat Williams is, obviously a very well-known comedian. He did an interview with Shannon Sharp, and I may cover some of that on a regular video. But in the interview, it's like a 3-hour-long video interview. In the interview, he spoke about Harvey Weinstein. He spoke about Jeffrey Epstein, Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, a lot of different guys. And again, we have the list coming out, and it's going to be the Epstein list. And I think that list is going to be pretty revealing. They said Slick Willie was on there under a pseudonym, I suppose, or they're not going to reveal his name, but they're going to tell us it's him. I don't understand the purpose. So news gets out that Bill Clinton, is on the list, which we all know. There's pictures of him on these planes and with the girls and with Epstein, and everybody knows about it. It's not even a secret. Just like Bill Gates, all these guys, we know they were on the plane, but for some reason, his name will not be shown, but a pseudonym that's Bill Clinton will be shown, and we know it's him. It's so dumb. But yeah, we're going to get into all that, so y'all please hang tight. Now, we got a few videos we're going to get into first and foremost, and shout out to you guys on the Facebook. I appreciate you. Shout out to you, Christine, over on Facebook. I appreciate you. Shout out to all the Facebook users, and shout out to everybody on the YouTubes. If you're listening to me right now on the replay, thank you for watching. And if you are listening audio only on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc., please give me a 5-star rating. Give me a good comment, a review, whatever you can do on those platforms. I'd most certainly appreciate it. Now, we're going to get into these videos here that I have not shown on any videos yet. And if you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, here we go. Chinese tattoos. Now, this is TikTok, and part of me thinks that this kind of video is put on TikTok to embarrass Americans, although it's true. You understand? Because TikTok is a lot of, how can I say, a lot of propaganda on that social media platform. A lot of things that happen on TikTok probably won't happen on other platforms. All right. So let's check this out right here. Oh, yeah, Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker's on the list, but we're going to get to it. Trust and believe, we're going to get to the list. Y'all hang tight. Not Chris Rock, I don't think, but Chris Tucker. Smokey from, what did Cat Williams said that's not, matter of fact, before I get to the Chinese tattoo, which is a pretty funny video, I'm going to give you a preview of what was going on with Cat Williams, because that is smoking hot right now. And then I'm going to get to a little bit more of a spicy one. All right. So straight away, early, but I'm gonna revisit it. So don't you worry. If you're coming in late, don't you worry. I'm going to come right back to it. Now, again, this is Cat Williams, world famous comedian, actor, etc. He was in, I think, next Friday or Friday after next. Been in quite a few movies. A comedian, been all over the world. One of the best. He played the pimp named Slipback in the Boondocks, if you ever seen that. But this, he's speaking about Chris Tucker being good friends with Epstein and Michael Jackson, etc. Check it out.
Spoon in a way that can't really be quantified, right, if I'm being honest with you. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
Did you hear that? He says the Chris Tucker we have now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker and not Smokey from Friday. Not him. One more time.
Being honest with you. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, this little gesture right here from Shannon Sharp, he's like, man, you talking way too much. You're saying way too much. Like, are they going to try to cancel me? Like, what's going on? Because understand this, Shannon Sharp, I like Shannon Sharp, good guy. He has a good platform. This platform is called Club Shay Shay, okay? That's Shannon Sharp's little nickname or whatever he had when he was playing football, probably when he was a youngin' or whatever. And it's a podcast, but they're sponsors. He has his own brand of alcohol right there on the table. But I think that this films at Fox Studios, okay? I think this is where this films. He was on Undisputed with Skip Bayless. That was a Fox production. And I think they also back this program. If that's incorrect, let me know. But he's like, hey, man, I'm about to get canceled. Like, what's going on? Let's continue.
If I didn't know no better, I'd tell you he's the greatest. I don't care what you say. To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. Most of these confident people we see is really delusional.
Well, you don't think they asked Chris Tucker to come back in the second Friday? Smokey was all in Smokey. There ain't no Friday without Smokey.
We all agree to that, and there's no next Friday without Friday, and there's no Friday after next without Friday.
We talk about the road because you said that they don't.
Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Chris was allowed to make the decision. At the time that this is happening, Cat Williams is known for smoking weed. Willie Nelson is known for smoking weed. Right. Snoop's known for smoking weed, but none of us is really known except Willie. And I'm saying, Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that.
Right.
He in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend.
Now, pay attention. Michael Jackson and Chris Tucker were really good friends. And Cat Williams is no fan of Michael Jackson. Not at all. He's spoken about Michael Jackson negatively during stand-up on camera. So it's no secret. But pay attention to what he's going to say about Michael Jackson and Chris Tucker.
smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that.
Right.
He in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend. Christmas. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that?
No.
Mm-mm.
Now, can you guys answer his question? Have you ever met a man like, okay, you're a grown man, 30-something years old, another grown man, 40-something years old, y'all hanging out, they give you a little cute little nickname. Your name is Christopher, right? Some may call you Chris. Your parents call you Christopher. Are you going to allow some man to call you Christmas? Like, what part of the game is that? You're not going to call me Christmas. Like, we're not going to do that. My name is Anthony. For real, I don't even like you calling me Tony. Just call me Anthony. Call me my full name. Don't try to shorten my name up. When I was a kid, it was Ant or something like that. But to be about 40 years old, calling me Ant, you're not going to do that. You're not calling me Tony. I don't eat spaghetti for a living, okay? I'm not a mobster. I'm not going to be pushing garbage during the day and whacking the enemies at night. I'm not going to do that, okay? My name is Anthony. It's very simple. You're not going to call me some kind of little cute nickname as a man. We're not having it.
Me neither. Must be the greatest.
Man, I ain't gonna be able to get nobody back on. I ain't gonna be able to get no more comedians.
They all coming.
No, they ain't.
Are you kidding?
Nah.
Hey, I promise you.
I got all the rest of them.
So, yeah, we're going to get back to Cat Williams in a minute because there was more from that interview that we shall revisit. So y'all just hang tight. Let's go back to the Chinese tattoos. Yeah, ain't nobody calling me Anthony. I wish somebody would call me Anthony. We gonna just fight bare knuckle. You're not gonna call me no Anthony. Like, you know what? I know, but I'm dignified. I'll be like, look, okay, that's ha, but nah, Anthony is cool. That's great. that's fine. Tony, like I said, I'm not a dumpster truck driver by day and a mobster by night. I'm not Tony Soprano. I'm not Tony Paulie Walnuts or nothing like that. Just call me Anthony. That's cool. Now, check it out. How many of you guys have seen these tattoos on people and you're wondering, hey, what do they mean? What's going on? Let's check it out. And RIP in advance headphone users.
When Westerners get Chinese tattoo, a netizen saw a hot girl in Barcelona. Unfortunately, her back tattoo 狮子 means lice. Another netizen ran into this guy in Germany. His tattoo means pig. Is pig a lucky animal in Western cultures? Because this guy has the same tattoo. This lady's tattoo.
Now, you guys, please give me a little bit of insight. If any of you guys can read Chinese, y'all let me know if what she's saying is correct.
Cultures, because this guy has the same tattoo. This lady's tattoo, 狗, means dog. Most netizens guess the character just represent their zodiac animal, but one said, I hope they're not a couple, because in Chinese there's a saying, 猪狗不如, literally worse than pigs and dogs, which refers to a person whose morality is lower than low. This guy's tattoo literally translates to mother, forever, pig, laugh. If this is a tattoo dedicated to your mom, at least try to make a coherent sentence. Perhaps Westerners think one big Chinese character looks cool. This guy has ghost tattoo on his arm. This guy has death tattoo on his neck. And this guy has a big fat poop on his chest. This guy's tattoo, 北京烤鸭, means Beijing roast duck. Netizen said he must know what this means because there's a rubber duck underneath the character, ya. This girl's tattoo, 你他妈的, means fuck you. Every time she wears a camisole, it's like giving the world a middle finger. We all know what this guy thinks of Chinese people. His torso tattoo, 中国人总是很有钱, means Chinese people always have a lot of money. If you don't speak Chinese but want to get Chinese tattoo, get this, 听不懂, or this, 我不知道,我不会说中国话. If someone asks you what does your tattoo mean, just show them your arm.
Yeah, so personally, I don't have any tattoos. If I was to get a tattoo, I wouldn't get it in a foreign language that I don't understand. Really, I'm not getting it in any foreign language. Why would I get a tattoo in a different language? Personally, that's not my vibe. If you have that, hey, more power to you. But I suggest we do a little bit of Googling and figure out exactly what you're getting on your body says before you get it on your body. Okay, what's worse than having a giant Chinese character right here on your chest? Okay, right here on your chest is giant. It goes from your collarbone down to your sternum. Okay, you got this big Chinese character and it means hot dog water or something crazy like that. Ramen noodle water over a fish or something stupid. Like, what are you going to do with that? It might look cool to you, but in reality, it does not mean what you think it means. You think it means something cool. Okay, strength, power, beauty, but really it means General Soul chicken with an egg roll on the side. That's what it means. So please be aware, if you're getting these foreign tattoos, understand what they mean. You don't want to be on a Chinese propaganda platform known as TikTok getting roasted by some random Chinese person. Now, speaking about food, let's go back to the economics. We got Bidenomics going on. You're trying to get some regular kind of quick fast food type stuff, or even groceries. Things are costing a lot more than what they did in the past. Your money, your dollar does not go as far as what it did. Okay. So let's check it out here.
Well, I got a bone to pick with Subway. Okay. I only wanted something small. Okay. Nothing big. So I tried a wrap. Never tried a wrap before. Just my little 6-inch wrap. Okay. Turkey. The only thing extra that I ordered was double turkey. Okay. Double turkey. That's it. All right. 1 turkey wrap with extra turkey. After my subtotal and tax, $18.91.
$18.91. Did you get a drink, chips? Like what happened?
$18.91 for this? I didn't want to be a bitch at the counter and be like, I'm sorry, what? And then to tip them, you got to add on another percentage.
Tipping at Subway, you smoking all kind of crack. I ain't tipping that Subway. Hey, you must got me. You got me all the way messed up. Like, okay, if I go to a place that's normally a sit down restaurant and I order, like, let's say for example, I go to a Olive Garden or somewhere like that, and I get carry out. I might tip you on a little online ordering thing because I understand they have waitresses in there that are gonna work and rely on tips. And if I'm going in there just getting a carry out order, that's a table they can't wait and a tip they can't get. So I might give them a little something for that. I don't have to, but I understand that they have a whole structure with a wait staff and whatnot. Okay, I get it. But Subway, I literally just walked in there. I basically pointed out what I wanted through the glass. Okay, give me that. All you did was just wrap it up, put it in the bag, and get it to me. You want a tip for that? You are smoking all kind of crack. You are smoking the finest. You're smoking the Hunter Biden pack of crack, okay? Whatever came into the White House, you're smoking that level potency of crack cocaine. I'm not going to do it. But this and on top of that, you want to tip on top of the already inflated prices for a 6-inch wrap at Subway, $18.90, like $20, a 20-piece for a wrap. That's crazy. It said words at Martha's Vineyard. I don't know where that is. San Francisco, somewhere else. Now, for those of you who say, just go to the grocery store. Just, rather than getting fast food, it's going to be expensive. Just go to the grocery store. You know what? Maybe in years past, that would have been the biggest brain idea in the world. But now it's getting to the point where you can't really escape the high prices. Let's check it out. This is at Wally World. Somebody's getting these Angus beef steak burgers. Okay, 85% lean, not even really all the way lean like the way I would normally get red meat. And I'm not really a red meat guy at this point. I was a vegan at one point for like 3 years. And after that experience, I stopped being vegan, obviously, but I don't really eat a lot of meat. You understand? I eat smaller portions, which is why I've been able to have a steady, consistent weight for a long time. I'm not one of these guys that'll blow up like a balloon after a few years of seeing me. I'm gonna be basically the same size. But let's check it out.
Okay, y'all, look at the price of this Angus 85% lean beef steak burger. It is $21.96.
So for this pack of beef right here, 12 third pound patties, $21.96. $21.96.
It is $21.96. And look at this one.
Now, this is 4 patties. Ground beef, chuck. $20.97. So basically like $20 for those. Now, I'm not really sure why you would get the patties already made like that. If you're going to get hamburger, just get the ground beef and just make it. But hey, whatever. I'm sure that the actual just ground beef without being made into patties is not going to be that much less expensive than these that are already formed into the patties.
For the ground beef. Oh, these prices are so. Oh, I can't afford to get in there.
Now, this is at Walmart. Walmart. We ain't talking about Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, nowhere like Walmart.
Yeah. Look at that price. Oh, my.
And I tell you what, I wouldn't buy produce at Walmart if I had a gun to my head. It's like, look, you might as well go ahead and pull that. I'm not going to buy produce at Wally World, period.
You can't hardly buy anything these days. It's too expensive.
So wherever you go, you're going to have very high prices for food. You go to a carry-out restaurant, grocery store, Wally World, or whatever. Eugene says you got 16 patties for $11. Well, hey, man, shout out to you. You got a good deal. All right. You definitely got a good deal on that. So shout out to you. Personally, I've not bought any red meat in a long time. I don't really eat steak too much. That's very rare that I eat any kind of steak or red meat. Mostly I eat like a lot of fish, a lot of sushi, that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I do. Chicken, not too much fried chicken. Popeyes and stuff like that, that's big back activities. You know what I mean? Fried chicken, all that, I can't do nothing with it. All right. Now, check this out. Okay, let's go to the left coast. Now, we have some LGBTQ, or I'm not sure at this point, I'm not sure what they are. What they identify as, who these people are, what's going on, where they came from. They appear to have come from under the ground, from the sewer system up to the surface, and they're trying to behave like normal humans, and they're not really having the good. It's not working out very well. Okay. Now the caption, I'll read it. It says about 500 grand was donated to Seattle to build a playground for kids in the area. LGBTQ plus residents protested because they wanted their nude beach. Guess who won? And shout out to End Wokeness for posting this. Okay, $500,000 was given to Seattle, donated to build a playground for the kids. Now you got these warriors right here. Look at what they have on. And let's see what they're talking about. And again, I didn't make it up. You're looking like Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles. You came from the sewer up to the surface and you want to just wreak havoc. Okay. Now, unfortunately for you, the villain is you. There's no opponent other than you, the regular, average, everyday person just working, taking care of their kids and minding their business. But check it out.
This is a place where people come up and they ask, is it safe here? Am I accepted here? And every time I've smiled and said yes.
Denny Blaine is a noted LGBTQ plus safe space. It's been that way for decades. Under Washington law, it's not illegal to be naked in public.
Okay, so are you hearing this? So this park, Denny Blaine Park, is known to be an LGBTQ safe space. In the same breath, he says it's not naked under Washington law. It's not illegal under Washington law to be naked. So they're saying that in order to have an LGBTQ safe space, you got to get butt naked. Does that make any sense? Now, when someone like me says, hey, some of these people are kind of gross and nasty and are using the whole umbrella of LGBTQ, elemental P, X, Y, and Z to be gross and nasty, then I'm accused of being a homophobe. But what are we talking about right here? In order to have a safe space for the LGBTQ, you got to get butt naked. And if that can't happen, then you're being homophobic. Huh? Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm a regular dude, a regular heterosexual, okay? Just regular, I'm a normie, just a regular person. When I go to a park, the first thing on my mind is not take my clothes off. The first thing is, hey, it's a beautiful scenery. It's fresh air. I'm outside. I'm just enjoying myself. If it's sunny, whatever, I'm getting a nice warmth. I'm just enjoying being outdoors. I don't think, hey, let me take my pants off. That's not what I think, but I digress.
However, it becomes illegal if kids are nearby. That's what this playground would do.
Want to preserve our spaces.
The people who showed up here believe the private anonymous donor who's willing to front $550,000 for a playground wants to take that space away from them.
They say that it's not an intention to displace queer communities or any specific community, and that may be true on the park side, but I'd love to ask the anonymous donor whether that's true.
This is a place where people come up.
So basically, they're mad because money was given to the city to build a playground right there at the park. And they're saying that's going to interrupt their LGBTQ safe space because they can't get naked anymore. I'm not making it up. I am not making it up. Now, I don't know the conclusion of it, but if you were to just have me guess who won, I'd say the LGBTQ because they got control over a lot. All right. So, yeah. Shout out to them. Again, when I go to the park, I think I'm just there just to enjoy the being outside, enjoy the scenery. It's right there on the water. You might want to go fishing or something like that. But nah, they wouldn't take their pants off and just do whatever they want to do. Okay? Hey, whatever. Maybe they might want to smoke crack too. That might be part of the whole mystique to smoke crack. Maybe they want to live right there as well and get in the lake, take a bath. But whatever. Anyway, I digress. Now, this, I think, will also be on the left coast. We're talking about FatCon. Okay? FatCon is coming up, and this person is going to tell you all about FatCon. All right, let's check it out.
I'm going to FatCon in Seattle, Washington, January 5th through 7th, and I want to see you there. FatCon is a 3-day fat liberation celebration, y'all. We will be celebrating fat liberation, body acceptance, and the power of being in fat community. With over 60 hours of programming spanning from policy, legislation, healthcare, community, and visual arts, plus a ton more, this is sure to be something you don't want to miss. The vibes are going to be immaculate. With a fat brunch, a fat fashion show, and a fat vendor marketplace, there is so much to do. Plus, there's some really cool experiences you can sign up for, like some fat liberation photo shoots and some incredible shopping experiences with Two Big Blondes. Being in fat community with other
Two Big Blinds. See, are we talking about FatCon? Or are we talking about something else? Is it about people that's fat coming together to share experiences, or do we have a little bit of an undercurrent of something else going on? If you catch my drift, if you can add 2 and 2 and get 4, you see what I'm talking about? Two fat blinds. What are we talking about exactly? That sounds like something else.
Other fat people who just accept you for who you are and get it is such a great experience, and I want every single person watching this to be able to have that experience with us.
What I want you to do is to get center in the camera. I've seen her before. She's a fatfluencer, right? And the camera is always off center. It's really bothering me. Okay, I try to keep myself centered in between these two flags right here. You see the little gap of space? I try to always get centered right there in the middle of the two flags, always. Okay, she is not centered. One of her arms is way off of the edge of the camera, and the other one is like way in. I don't get it.
Ticket sales for the FatCon are going to be ending very soon. You can go to the link in my bio and use code JBAE to save 25% on your tickets. I hope to see each and every one of you at the FatCon in Seattle, Washington, January 5th through 7th.
Yeah, so the thing about these fat influencers, I'm not trying to judge people because they're big or they're fat or whatever, but when you have fat influencers, people that want to promote the idea of being fat, what's going to happen is you're going to promote an unhealthy lifestyle. It's not even about how you look, because beauty, quite frankly, is in the eye of the beholder. Somebody might think that she's super hot. I'm sure a lot of you guys, not you guys that are watching, but a lot of guys out there are going to be all on their DMs, blowing their DMs up, trying to, go over there and wrestle with her. But the problem is when you promote that kind of lifestyle of being fat, of being morbidly obese, what you're going to do is create people that are unhealthy and they're going to die early. There was a bunch of fat influencers that are all dead. Like a few people that have been popular recently all died under the age of 45. I'm not quite sure where that list, I think it might have been Blair White or somebody that had that list. It was 4 fat influencers that all died under 45 recently. That's what's going to happen. So yeah, a fat con, how about that? How about y'all go to some weight loss, a fat farm to lose some of that weight? If you do that, then I'm with it. If you fat, you weigh a lot of, go there, do that, then I'm with you 100%. Okay. Why a shirt got no stains? It might just be a brand new shirt. They probably straight out the pack, straight from the pack, straight from the tarp. But anyway, now I'm watching you guys in the chat talking about Tim Pool got cut. I have no news about that. I don't know anything about that. You guys are saying you're talking about the Epstein list. So I'll be mindful of that. But beyond that, I have no idea what's going on. And sometimes streams get cut and they come right back. So I have no idea what's happening. But I do recognize what you guys are saying. So shout out to him. Hopefully everything's cool. But beyond that, I have no idea. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, here's another video that was kind of controversial, I guess, a little bit. Some said that it was racist. And it kind of goes into the whole thing about keeping yourself clean. Because you guys were saying, or one of you guys said, how is her shirt clean or whatever? And then some are going to be wondering, hey, how is she able to actually, clean herself? This person talking about washcloths. That's kind of a cultural thing. The idea of a washcloth is like a black household thing. I didn't know this until I got to be older because, again, I grew up in the 100% black area until I got to be in high school and it was still majority black. So a lot of things that are culturally normal for black people are not necessarily for anybody else because of the way this country was. You had segregation. Everybody's just on one side or the other. So there's no cohesion. So things got different culturally. Like the whole idea of having dogs everywhere, that's more of a white culture thing. Black folks have dogs too, but not to the extent to white households. I'm not trying to be racist. This is just a thing. Just like the idea of a washcloth, that's more of a black household thing. Okay. Having the light on top of the stove might be a black household thing too. It's just weird little things like this. So this person got in trouble because he says that washcloths are for poor people. Let's check out what he says. All right, roll it.
Washcloths are for poor people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I only have one friend use washcloths, and when she would stay with me, she'd say, "Can I have a washcloth?" And I said, "I don't have washcloths.
Yeah.
There's no washcloth. Use your hand, dummy."
I really do remember the first time I crashed at a poor friend's house, and then he handed over like a towel for after the shower, and then a bar soap, and then a little one. I go, "What's the little towel?" He goes, "A washcloth." And I go, I threw it back at him. I'm like, "I'm good." And he was like, Washcloths are for poor people.
So like they have, like my man right here had no idea what a washcloth was. Now for me, I mean, that's the thing you always have throughout your entire life. You go to your grandma's house, anybody's house you go to, they're going to have a towel and a washcloth. So basically for you guys who don't know, you get a regular towel in the bathroom to wash, to dry yourself after you get out the tub or the shower. Then you get a small towel called a washcloth. You use that, put a soap on that, scrub your body, and then after you get done, put it on the towel rack right next to your towel. That's the whole thing. Now, personally, I'm going to come clean. I always had washcloths throughout my entire life, but recently, either I use my hands with Dr. Bronner's liquid soap or I have a loofah. Now, the cultural thing gets weird when you're talking about a washcloth versus a loofah. Because I think you would have more white or non-black households that use loofahs more than the washcloth. But it's really the same concept. Having an instrument to scrub yourself rather than just using your hands. Okay? But it's the same kind of concept. Now, me, I use loofahs sometimes or my hands. If I'm traveling, it's always my hands. Because they don't always really put washcloths in the room. They really don't. A lot of your hotel rooms don't really have washcloths front and center. And once you get into the shower, it's always going to be body wash. It will almost never be a bar of soap. And a washcloth is better with a bar of soap. So usually I use my hands with the body wash and I'm getting money. Yeah, you got to exfoliate. Right, you got to exfoliate. But I'm going to tell you this. Even during my washcloth days, my face, that was always a hand wash. I got specialized face wash, Shea Moisture. I got this charcoal activated face wash. I use that. I used to use Noxzema back in the day. Put a Noxzema on your face, let it get, into your skin. And then after that, go in the bathroom, wash your face with your hands and specialized soap, and then you good. I wash my face usually twice a day, every day, because I got oily skin. And if I don't wash my face, that's when I start to get acne and things of this nature, because I got oily skin and then the clogs will pour up. Bottom line is I don't use a washcloth for my face. Never have, never will. But is that a poor person thing, a washcloth? How about a loofah? Is a loofah better than a washcloth? Or is it the same thing? Y'all let me know. But a loofah, you see that more in the upper kind of crust household, or it'd be no washcloths, just towels only. Now, one thing I also see in other cultures is a lack of showering. Okay, you shower twice a week, something like that. I'm seeing different podcasts with the white man talking about, hey, just shower once a week, twice a week, something like that. It's like, okay, are we not doing any kind of physical activities? We just kind of sitting on the hind parts all day. Like we're not cutting grass. We're not playing sports. There's no adult activities over there. You're not going to get sweaty and whatever. I'm just saying we have a lot of cultural differences here in America, but that's just part of America. Now, here's something I want to bring up. This is a popular tweet from somebody about the housing market. And this is kind of an out of touch tweet. Okay. Out of touch tweet. This right here says, kids today wonder how our parents were able to survive with one paycheck. This is exactly how it was done. See the size of this house? This was normal when I was growing up. No 5-bedroom homes with 5 baths. Living and buying within your means. Starter homes. Now, this is an out of touch tweet. Do you see any new homes being built as like 1,000 square foot? Like my grandma's house is a prime example of a house like this. My grandma's house is like maybe 1,200 square feet, maybe max. And the whole family, everybody grew up in that house. Look, really it was my great grandparents' house. So then, my grandma and my uncles grew up in the house. Well, my grandma and my great uncles, her brothers grew up in the house. And then my mom and her brothers grew up in the house. I grew up in the house. My cousins grew up in the house. Other family from Ohio who came to West Virginia, they grew up in the house. There might be at one time 10 people in this house, a house that's that size back in West Virginia, okay? But check it out. Are you able to buy a house that's this size anymore? You know the way that things are now with new construction especially? And first of all, if you see a house that's this size right now in 2024, it's going to be in a ghetto. You're going to be ducking bullets all day. Okay, you're going to duck bullets all day. And even if you can find a house like this in the ghetto while ducking bullets, you're going to spend sometimes $500,000. Go to Los Angeles, a house that's like this size right here, a house that's that size in Los Angeles, you're going to have bars in the windows and pay between $550,000 and $600,000. A starter home, where? Now, I think somebody had a good response. Let me see if I can find it right quick. And also, if you can find anything that's cheaper than that, anything that's cheaper than that, than the $500,000, $400,000, you're going to be in BFE Egypt. You're going to be in the middle of nowhere. You're going to be in a place where there's no economic opportunity. You're going to be in a small rural town. Now, if you're retiring, here we go. Now, if you're retired and you already have money in the bank saved up from living in a place where things are a lot more expensive, that's one thing. But if you're trying to get a starter home, how are you going to live in BFE in the middle of Nowhereville, USA. What are you going to do for a living? I mean, let's just use our brain here. Now, check it out. This is in Charlottesville. This house right here, Charlottesville, Virginia. 2-bed, 1-bath, 910 square foot. 910 square foot for $386,000. That's an estimate. When it goes to market, it might go for a lot more than that. And it's probably an old house. So even if you do buy it for the 386 or probably for the 450,000 it'll sell for in the market in Charlottesville, because Charlottesville, I'm from Virginia. I know Charlottesville very well. Charlottesville is kind of close to DC, although it's far. You could live in Charlottesville and commute to DC in theory. You're kind of in the Northern Virginia perimeter, although it's kind of far away. It's like living in West Virginia to go to DC, like Harpers Ferry, Berkeley Springs. It's like living out there and then commuting to DC. It's like an hour and a half train ride from one place to the other. Same thing with Charlottesville. So you're going to get a lot of sprawl out there. It'll probably go for $450,000 and you got to fix it up. It'll need a roof, HVAC, plumbing, all of that. And it might be in the hood. So we got to just be a little bit more realistic here. Be more realistic. Okay. Let me see. John Parsons says, I live on the edge of nowhere, 20 minutes from nowhere and 40 minutes from everywhere. Yeah, there you go. I'm with it. But yeah, Charlottesville is not a big city at all. That's a small town. They have UVA there, but still, it's a small town. I've been to Charlottesville. You could drive straight through it in 2 minutes. It's not, you're right, like by a mountain. It's not a big city. Now, you want to go to the big city. You want to go to Washington, D.C., somewhere like that, forget about it. Don't even try it. Don't even try it. A 900 square foot living area of any sort is going to run your pockets completely dry. My point is that some of these tweets like this talking about, oh, well, you're living beyond your means and all this and that. You're not looking at the reality of what's happening out there in the real world with these housing prices. It's crazy. Lack of availability and all that good stuff is just not there. Now, you guys are asking about Tim Pool. I don't know. I have no information. Anything that I would say to you, you be able to tell me. I don't know. Apparently, he was talking about the Epstein kerfuffle and got nuked, but I don't know what happened beyond that. So that's all I got for you. All right. Now, shout out to Star Wars. Apparently, there's some kerfuffle over the new movie. And let's check this out. I've only seen a little bit of this. I've not seen the entire thing. But some kind of woke kerfuffle. I'm going to read this caption. It says, Disney hands over the $67 billion Star Wars franchise to a Pakistani feminist activist. Obai Chinoy on the new film she will be directing for the franchise. We're in 2024. It's about time we have a woman shape a story in a galaxy far, far away. See, already I don't like it because what does your gender got to do with anything? Can you do the job or not? Can you actually make this a good movie, an entertaining movie or not? I don't care about what your personal thing is. You actually as a person behind the film, I don't even care about. You could be AI for all I care. Is the movie good or is it not good? Now, let's check it out. Yeah, RIP Star Wars. RIP Star Wars. And RIP anybody using headphones in advance.
Also the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. It's set to be released in 2026. You can say that the force is strong with this one. Here's Charlamagne Tha God.
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
So the first.
Okay, so that's one thing. Now, I have one more video from her, from the new director of the Star Wars franchise. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it's going to be a very good film. I'm not really too hyped to go watch that one. And it's really a shame because you're talking about these classic film franchises that are being ruined because of wokeness. It's really a shame. Let's check it out, though.
What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable. Not you, just not you. Not you.
Point taken, point taken.
But, it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here, and recognize that. And recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude. And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection. And
wow, really? I got to hate myself to enjoy your film?
Then say, maybe there is something wrong with the way I think, or maybe there is something wrong with the way I am addressing this issue.
So yeah, a lot of you guys are asking, it's like
something.
She, first of all, look kind of white to me, kind of like Nikki Haley, right? Nikki Haley is first generation Indian American, but look kind of white to me. I mean, at a certain point, when you're talking about the Persians, you're right on the edge of white and not white. You're kind of like the buffer between whiteness and non-whiteness. You're the buffer between white and, Apu from The Simpsons. You're like right in the center. You're like the delineation. Same thing with the Turks and the Armenians, people like this. There's like, they could go either way. But anyway, she will be the brand new director of the Star Wars films. And I don't think it's going to be a good look. I don't think that I'm really going to, I don't think I'll look forward to watching that too much. So yeah, shout out to her. And let's keep on moving here. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Oh, here's an interesting one. This is a question I have for you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is something that makes sense? Does it not make sense? Now, this person says he's dating a transgender person, but he's not gay. Okay, he's not gay.
I was just very much confused.
I was confused too. Cassidy educated me and said, no, honey, you're straight. Don't you look at me like a woman? I said, yeah. She's like, so where do you find the word gay? And that's when I realized, yeah, I'm not gay at all. I'm an alpha male that's attracted to femininity, and that's exactly what I got right here.
I was just very...
So this person, you see this person right here with the strong jawline looking like Chris Jericho in the early WCW, WWF days, right? This person is a man who identifies as a woman, and then the guy that he is with says, I'm an alpha male. I like feminine energy. So that means I'm not gay, even though I'm dating the man. Now, my man, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. But if you're a man and you date another man, that means you're gay. This person can identify as whatever they want to identify as. They can identify as a rainbow, a lollipop, a raindrop, a bus stop. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you and him have the same chromosomes. That's just what it is. Y'all both are XY, male, dude, male, masculine, hombre, senor. That's y'all. So there's no way around it. And you know what? A lot of this gets put out there to the internet, social media to confuse people into thinking that this just makes sense. Oh, yeah, well, this person is a man, but they identify as a woman, so therefore I'm not gay. Come on, man. Let's please stop. Let's please stop. You're not an alpha, and I don't think alphas call themselves alphas. That's not really how that works, okay? That's just not really what it is. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now let's get back to some political stuff here. I got a few things going on. We have a record high of migrants at the border processed. This means that these are the ones who were contacted by Border Patrol and brought into the country. In December alone, Border Patrol processed 300,000 quote unquote at the border migrants, asylum seekers, migrants, whatever they want to call themselves, 300,000 of them. Now you got guys like Eric Adams talking about, oh, we had 150,000 people coming to the city over the past 18 months. Well, that's not really that many because you guys are a sanctuary city. You guys welcome everybody. You still got that Statue of Liberty poem on it that was put there in the 1900s the poem, Bring Us You're Tired, You're Weary, all of that was put there in the 1900s as a part of a fundraiser. It's not a USA mission statement. It's not a law. It's just a thing that was put there as part of a fundraiser effort. That's all that it is. It doesn't mean bring the entire world here for free, just unfettered. That's not what it means. But anyway, 300,000 at the border in December 2023, just in December. And throughout the entire year of 2023, they averaged 250,000 migrants processed every month at the border. That's not including the gotaways, guys that are just sneaking across and don't get caught. It's not including them. They're here as well. But let's continue and check this out.
A new year and a new set of buses carrying migrants to various cities across the U.S. This weekend, 350 asylum seekers flown in from the southern border boarded buses to Chicago after landing in Rockford, Illinois. Their transportation north, arranged by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson said on Face the Nation, city officials were given no notice.
The rogue buses that are being dropped off across this country in the middle of the night, leaving people with no real support at all, no coordination with the local municipalities. That type of chaos is certainly dividing our country.
Chicago is just one city dealing with the influx and now cracking down on buses bringing in migrants without advance notice. Last week, New York City Mayor Eric Adams issued an emergency order to restrict bus arrivals, but that hasn't stopped busloads of migrants now being dropped off at train stations in New Jersey with easy access to the city. Adams says the migrant crisis will cost New York $12 billion by 2025.
I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, they're complaining about it in New York, Chicago, etc. But at the same time, they are sanctuary cities. So how are you going to complain about the thing that you invite? If you want to call yourself a sanctuary city, then you have to be a sanctuary city and sanctuary state. If you don't want to be that anymore, the solution is to stop identifying as that. Very simple. You know, that's one thing you can actually change when you're talking about how you identify. If you identify as a female when you're really a male, that's not really a thing you can do biologically. You can't just say, yeah, I'm not a male anymore. I'm not going to have prostate cancer treatment and screenings and things of this nature. I'm not a female anymore. Therefore, I'm going to just have no more cycle. That's not how that works. But you can identify as a sanctuary city and then no longer accept all these migrants coming to your place. But as long as you're a sanctuary city and or a sanctuary state, okay, here you go. Take that. It's very simple. All right, Texas does not identify as a sanctuary state. And I don't think any city in the state is a sanctuary city. So they're not going to allow them to stay in their particular place. Now, Nikki Haley, speaking about the white-looking Indians, Nikki Haley, again, she has two parents from the Indian subcontinent. Her birth name is Namrata Nikki Randhawa, I believe. All right, let me just make sure I'm saying the right thing. Nikki is part of her actual name. People were saying that was a fake name. That's not true. That's her middle name. One of her middle names. Yeah. So Namrata Nikki Haley, born Namrata Nikki Randhawa. Now, the media are trying to make her be a thing. They're trying to make her be the prime, I guess you would say, opponent of Trump in the primary. But she's not. First of all, she was never polling very high. They had a poll that had her within like 10, between 5 to 10 points of Trump. I think it might have been in New Hampshire. I'm like, how? Who wants to vote for Nikki Haley? I mean, if anybody's beating her, it's the other guy who looks more like the gas station type character. And I'm sorry for being racist. My main man, who I like, I'm not quite sold on him yet, but I like him. Vivek. Vivek is doing much better than her and DeSantis. And going into the process, I like DeSantis more than anybody else. I liked him a lot. But he has been running a terrible campaign. He's awkward at best. DeSantis, I like him. But to see him on the campaign trail is like the Men in Black guy with the roach suit. Just awkward all over the place, not really feeling one with his skin. It's like, do you have a brand new body anyway? So here she is trying to clean up the whole civil rights slavery remark. And the slavery and Civil War. Now, I don't think she can recover from this because she was never really in a position to succeed anyway. She was never going to beat Trump at all in anything. And I don't think she'd be a good VP pick. So I don't know what her purpose is other than trying to take votes away from Trump in the primary. That's all I can think about. I have no idea why she's here beyond that. Oh, and yeah, Trump is still obviously the leader. Don't get it confused. I'm talking about everybody but Trump.
I want to visit this because it's going to continue to come up. And the reason that it has is maybe you haven't put it to bed yet. So in Political today, there's being written about black conservatives and some of their responses. Conservative talk show host Armstrong Williams says, you are and going to move on from this. But in the meanwhile, he called it a teachable moment. And I would ask, what have you learned?
Well, first of all, I will tell you this, that I said right off the bat, I did respond to it right away. When you grow up in the South, you grow up and slavery is a constant comment, constant point of discussion. You learn it in school. You talk about it. The South is actually very comfortable with our history. What I should have said immediately was that the Civil War was about slavery. But I just assumed that that was a given. And I went on and said it was also about the role of government and about the rights of people, economically, socially, and otherwise. So, yes, we know the Civil War was about slavery. That's always the case. And I'll remind you that I was the Southern governor that brought down the Confederate flag after we had a horrific shooting of 9 African Americans that were killed in a church. But Harris, really, the media is the only one that has talked about this issue.
No, that's actually not true.
Not one person on the ground in Iowa, not one person on the ground in New Hampshire or Iowa are talking about it. I've done multiple town halls. We have done 150 town halls. I answer every question from Republicans, from Democrats, from independents. And I'm happy to talk about this. We have a deep history in South Carolina when it comes to what we've dealt with slavery, when it comes to the fact that I had to deal with a shooting by, an unarmed black man who was shot 7 times in the back from a dirty cop. We passed the first body camera bill in the country.
And nobody's trying to hear that. Like, that's not really, you're not helping your case. Who cares? You're not helping your case. It's like, really for me, the whole remark about Civil War, it just displayed a lack of knowledge. It's nothing else to me. And the thing is, if you're going to be the president, you need to know these things. You can't be on a national stage or an international stage and be asked a question and not be prepared to answer it. You're not really a student of history. And like when you were asked that question, you were not ready to answer it. And that's all that it is. It's not even about racism. Nothing about that. You were not prepared to answer the question. That's all. So I don't know what you want to do. You want to be the president? You trying to be the vice president? You trying to be a cabinet member? I don't know. She might be just the same as DeSantis, better off being a governor or a local position, not trying to go for this high office. And again, she had no chance of trying to beat Trump in the primary. And quite frankly, I don't think, here's a hot take from me right now. I don't think America will be ready for a female president at any point in time in the future. We're not the United Kingdom or somewhere over in Europe. We're not like that. America does not want a female president. Look, when tasked between Hillary Clinton, who everybody knew, she was already the first lady, Secretary of State, whatever, between her and Barack Obama, they picked Barack Obama, the black guy in America, right? Like my granddad was born in the 1930s. He thought that there would never be a black president ever. And then they picked the black guy over the woman. And then when it came to Trump, the movie star, the showman, the popular guy, the entertainer, they picked him over Hillary again. And then here's this. People thought that when he said he was going to be the president and run, that he was just joking. Oh, he's not really being serious. Now, obviously, once he got in there, he did very well at the debates and everything else. It was like a firestorm. But he had half the money. People didn't take him seriously, and he beat her. And she had all the cachet in the world. So how does Nikki Haley think that she has any chance? And you get on TV, you're asked a question, and you just basically have no answer. And then you try to come back and clean it up, all this and that and the third. Ain't nobody trying to hear it. There's more to this. I'm going to play a little bit of that, then I'll move on. All right, let's keep on rocking.
We brought down the Confederate flag. We didn't have riots. We had vigils. We didn't have protests. We had prayer. And South Carolina got through what was a very heartbreaking and controversial time, not by demonizing each other, but by moving together and bringing out the best in people to go forward.
And all of those are bright points, and all of those might have been things that you said at that moment. But when asked on a re-ask by, and look, others have even said that was a Democratic plant who was in that town hall. I don't know. I wasn't there. But others have said that. You have said that, in fact. Whatever, it's a question put to you. And on a re-ask, what would you have me say about slavery was your answer. Clearly, you have plenty to say about slavery. I mean, the Civil War, April 12th, 1861, started in your state at Fort Sumter. I would imagine you would have a lot to say about it. A former HUD deputy secretary under President Trump, someone who's not working in the media currently, but often a guest, Michael Singleton, has said this about your comments on slavery and the Civil War. Quote, she should have been able to answer the blank question and move on. She had a chance to be competitive, even though she was always likely to lose the nomination. However, that's over now. She's toast. Now, I do want to say,
I mean, that right there, I pretty much agree. So his quote says, she should have been able to answer the dang on question and move on. She had a chance to be competitive, even though she was always likely to lose a nomination. However, that's over now. She's toast. Yeah. I mean, and I'm not really a big fan of Michael Singleton. I know who that is. I never met him before, but I see him a lot on television. I know kind of about him a little bit, but what he said right here was right on point. It's like she's toast. She didn't have a chance really in the beginning. She was not doing well. In my opinion, Nikki Haley was polling as well as Kamala Harris, which was not well at all during her run in 2020. So you go out there and do something like that, it's pretty much a wrap. And again, the only reason why Nikki Haley was out there at all is because the media were trying to push her forward. They were trying to make her be a Trump competitor. But she was having a hard time being able to compete with Vivek and DeSantis and even the Chris Christie. And Chris Christie, this fat positive guy, had to defend her when she was getting flambasted, if that's a word, by Vivek. It's like, my man, what are you doing? You, Chris Christie, are trying to become the president, although you have no chance. You know, that's something else. And don't get offended. Anybody out there, if you weigh a lot, don't get offended. And shout out to you guys on the Facebooks. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Tanya. Shout out to Emery, Michael, Christine, Michael, and everybody else. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Mishoran. But Chris Christie is too odd shaped to be the president. Can I say that? Is that wrong to say? Listen, most presidents are tall, and look somewhat handsome, somewhat. At least tall. That's the main thing. You know, I always talk about when you're talking about just being a man in the West and being what women like, being attractive. If you're tall, that kind of trumps a lot of different things. As long as you tall in some kind of way and shape, you don't have to be a beauty king in the face. You can kind of get away with it. Like Trump is tall, like 6'2", 6'3". He does not weigh 215 pounds. I weigh 215 pounds. I am 6'3", 215. Now, obviously, I'm not as big as Trump is. So, obviously, he's not 215 pounds. He's about 275 pounds. But anyway, probably at least 250, 260. But the point is he's tall. So, his weight not necessarily being the best ain't really that bad. But he's not shaped like Chris Christie. And he's not as short as Chris Christie. Most of the presidents are going to be tall. Barack Obama, Trump, W, HW, Slick Willie. The shortest president in modern time was Jimmy Carter at 5'10". Everybody else above 6 foot. And not fat. Say what you want. Call me a bigot. Call me a fat phobic person. Call me a racist. But it is what it is. And also, no women. That's what America wants. Obama, same thing. Above 6 foot, handsome guy. That's what we like to be the leader, to be the president. Now, you want to be a governor, you want to be a dog catcher, it doesn't really matter. You could be in the wheelchair like Greg Abbott, who cares? But to be the president, it's different. It's much different. Vivek, short. But see, Vivek is doing very well, and I like Vivek. But again, nobody is even close to Trump. That's what we got to kind of understand. I like what Vivek's doing. He's talking pretty well. I'm not totally sold on him, but he's doing the best out of everybody in the pack except for Trump. There's nobody even close. There's no person that's anywhere near him still. And speaking about people that won't become the president, people that are doing a bad job as vice president, your friend to the show, Kamala Harris. Let's check her out. All right. And RIP in advance, headphone users.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea.
An alliance? Huh? Did you hear that? Let's hear this one more time. Now, she's at the DMZ. This is the area between North and South Korea. Okay? Now, I'm not quite sure if we jet lagged. You don't know what's going on. You said the wrong thing. Maybe you just made an incorrect statement. Let's check it out.
So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. And it is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
North Korea? I don't think there is an alliance with North Korea. But hey, it was a mistake, ABL. She's tired. But at a certain point, when you keep making mistakes over and over and over again, you call it a gaffe machine. That's what Joe Biden is, a gaffe machine. Okay. And as a matter of fact, I think I have an example of your main man, Joe Biden, being a gaffe machine during New Year's Eve. I got it. Here we go. Check it out. This is your man, Joe, with his wife, Jill, during New Year's Eve. And let's hear this gaffe, which is one of 1,000. Check it out.
I'm curious, what sort of holiday foods have you been enjoying over the last few days?
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating pasta, which I love.
Yeah.
Eating a lot of chicken Parmesan. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
I'm curious.
She had to remind him about the ice cream because it's like his whole thing, right? Uncle Joe, Paw Joe. I love ice cream. That's his thing. You can see the body language right here. Look at Jill.
Enjoying over the last few days.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front.
So right here, you can see it. She's getting ready. She's kind of like bracing herself. Here we go. This guy's talking. And then she's going to jump in because she's realizing he's just talking and saying random food he probably don't even eat. I eat whatever they put in front of me. This is like Muhammad Ali toward the end. It's pretty sad, really. RIP to my main man, Muhammad Ali. RIP to him. This is very sad. and this guy is going to be your nominee, he is pretty much on empty. You ever have a car you're driving and you've been on E for like the past 5 days and you know at any moment it's going to just conk out? You could be on the highway, on the mountain, or whatever. You're going uphill and you're finished. You're gonna start rolling back. We are here right now with this guy. He's pretty much at the end, and she knows it.
In front of me, I've eaten pasta, which I love. Eating a lot of chicken Parmesan. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
So then at the end, she's like, okay, we got it out. Yay. I was stressed that he wasn't going to say ice cream. I was able to catch him at the perfect time. Don't forget ice cream. That's your man right there. That's your guy. 81 million votes. 81 million, I can't tell. Now, speaking about voting and conservatives, whatever, this is your main man, Billy Joe of Green Day. And you know what? For my whole life, I thought his name was Billy Joel. Now, I just learned the other day that Billy Joel is another guy and not this person right here. Since I've been a teenager, I call him Billy Joel with an L, but it's just Billy Joe. And his name is spelled Billie. Why? I don't know. Like, what's the person? I forget her name from Stranger Things, whatever. I don't really watch that show, but check this out. He changed his lyrics to one of his songs, or one of Green Day songs, American Idiot. Let's check it out. So in the original song, he says, I'm not a part of a redneck agenda. He changed it to say, I'm not part of a MAGA agenda. These people are miserable. I'll play it for you one more time, and then I'll give my commentary. Okay, so again, in the original song, he says, I'm not part of a redneck agenda, and he changed it right here to say, I'm not part of a MAGA agenda. Now, these people are nuts, because it's like, okay, we're now in 2024, my man. The 2020 election, we're going on 4 years that Trump's not been in office. So why do they keep talking about MAGA? At this point, that's like a slur. It's like a slur to talk about anybody that's not a liberal like him. You're MAGA. You're a MAGA. Okay, you don't like Joe Biden. You don't like this guy that's pretty much on his last leg, who's pretty much about to expire at any moment, like a carton of milk on a counter for the past 2 years. If you don't vibe with that, that means you're a MAGA. It's ridiculous. But hey, that's what we're talking about. So shout out to Green Day for having MAGA on the brain, as a lot of these guys do. Now, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Here is a little bit from New Year's Eve in New York City. And if you're wondering, hey, how are these people just out here all day? Like, when do they start? How did they get there? What's going on? Here's a preview of what happens. Now, this says New Year's Eve in Times Square. People have been waiting since 5 a.m. for this moment. NYPD opened the gate at 10:27 a.m. So they've been out there since 5 a.m. waiting to pour into Times Square to see the ball drop. Now, I'm no mathematician, so y'all please pardon me. But 5 a.m., you waiting out there to get to the gate that opens at 10:27, to stand out there all day until midnight and afterward. How are you eating? How are you going to the bathroom? I heard they're wearing diapers. Now, I don't know if that's true, because you got social media, rumors spread like wildfire, but I'm just trying to do the science. I'm trying to do the science. What are you really going to do? But let me play the video. Now, they're not immediately going in because they got officers right there in front of them.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of Asians for some reason. I'm not really sure. I don't understand. Is that a thing? Like in China, you want to go be in New York City on New Year's Eve? Ain't no way. I'm good. Yeah, I thought that probably Japanese. That's what it looks like, actually, not Chinese. Shout out to Japan. So yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm cool on that. That's not really something I'm interested in. You know, I can see the same ball drop from afar. I can see it on television, or I can go to a local event and not have to be dealing with all that stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to be out there all day with a diaper on. That's not really my cup of tea. All right. So let's keep on rocking and rolling. We got a few more things to get into. All right. And probably let me get a second here. Get myself together. And here we go. Where do I want to go next? There's so much. I don't want to waste a lot of time. Oh, the plane crash in Japan. Speaking about Japan, that was a good segue. The tourists from Japan, there was a plane crash. I covered this in the video. Now, what happened, it was crazy. And if you guys know more about it than me, y'all correct me in the comments. But what happened was there were two planes. One was on the runway, and I guess they had a command to not go forward. So I guess the way the runway was, you could kind of intersect the runway where you would have planes landing and taking off. You could go across it for whatever the reason to get from one part of the airport to the other. I don't really know. But the plane did not get the message, apparently. And the plane was a small plane that had 6 on board, the pilot and 5 passengers. So for some reason, it was right in the middle of the runway. Like, you know, kind of like perpendicular to it. So a plane is landing with nearly 400 people on board. Nearly, I think it was 379, including the passengers and the crew. So this plane is landing in Japan, and as it lands, it collides into the plane that was on the runway. Now, the plane that got hit on the runway that was already right there, 5 aboard that plane died, and the pilot was the only survivor. So again, you had 6 on board, 5 died except for the pilot. Now, the plane that landed and crashed into the plane that was on the runway, all passengers and crew survived. Everybody. And the plane was lit up in flames. It was a chaotic scene. I'm going to show you guys the crash, and then I'll show you the actual fire afterward. It was crazy. And they said the reason why nobody died on the big plane, the jumbo jet, is because of the orderly nature in which everybody behaved. People were sitting down in their seats while the plane was being evacuated. You know how you get up in the plane after it lands and everybody wants to, you be in seat 40F, way in the back, and you got guys trying to stand up. It's like, for what? When I land on the plane, I'm going to sit down until I know it's time to get up. Ain't no point in me saying, and I'm tall anyway, so I'm over here hunched over, scrunched over. It's not very comfortable. Okay, I'm in there like this. Like here's my back. I'm like this, and here's the overhead compartment. I'm scrunched up. I'm hunched over like Joe Biden will be in 2 years. But anyway, it's not very comfortable. I sit down in my chair until I can get up. I have enough room to go where I gotta go. They did that here, which is why there was no deaths on the plane. Now, here's the actual crash, and then we're going to get into the fire. You see? So you see the collision. Now, look over here, and you're going to see the collision. One more time. So you see the light, and then boom, because the planes collided, and then instantly, ball of flame. So I think this is the smaller plane right here that had the crew, like the 5 on board. And by the way, they had an earthquake in Japan and a tsunami recently. This plane right here, the smaller plane, they were headed to go help victims of the earthquake and tsunami. Okay, that was their reason for being at the airport. If not for the earthquake and tsunami, they wouldn't have been right there at that time. So they're trying to put that fire out. And then there's the bigger jet right here. A fire is rapidly spreading through the actual plane. And you can see one of these exit, I guess you would say stairs. I'm not sure what the correct term is. If you guys are watching and know about planes, you'll let me know what it is. But they had 3 of these. They had 3 exits that were available for evacuation, and nobody was killed on this plane. So is that the Airbus A350? Is that what it is? What did I say? Did I call it something else? And look, you see you have the fire raging inside the actual aircraft. Inside the actual aircraft. Yeah, they were on the evacuation slide. Yep, you see them coming out right here. The video, it ain't the best video in the world, but you see them coming out. You see? Let me see if I can just kind of rewind that. It's not the best video. I'm not sure why they kind of cut it up like that. But again, nobody died on this plane. Unfortunately, the smaller plane, it was 6 on board and 5 died, except for the pilot. He was the only one that survived. All right. Now, here we're going to check out the flame, more from the actual flame that the plane was engulfed, the flame that the plane was engulfed in.
A passenger plane carrying nearly 400 people burst into a ball of fire at the Tokyo airport Tuesday when it collided with the Coast Guard jet. The horrifying video showed the Japan airline plane suddenly bursting into flames after...
I don't need to hear her, actually.
International.
And I want to show a bigger video. Give me a second to pull it up right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, so here we go.
As if Japan needed any more drama after those terrifying earthquakes comes this, a jet colliding with another plane.
Sight. So you see this right here, mangled.
On fire, Les Trent with what you need to know.
It's a terrifying sight. A plane completely engulfed in flames. The fuselage buckles in the intense heat. It looks like a horrific loss of life. But incredibly, all 379 passengers and crew escaped. How did they do it? The Japan Airlines Airbus was landing in Tokyo when it collided head-on with a Coast Guard plane, which explodes. You can see the stricken jetliner continuing down the runway in flames. Here's how it looked inside the plane. Passengers are terrified. Smoke is starting to fill the cabin, and you can see the glow of flames outside the windows. The fire actually blocked emergency exits located in the rear of the plane. Video shows the passengers evacuating down the chutes at the front of the plane. That none of the airline passengers was killed is being called a miracle. I spoke with Airline Flight Attendants Union leader Sarah Nelson. They literally had seconds to get off that plane.
What I see there is that the flight attendants performed their jobs perfectly and the passengers listened to their instructions and took it seriously and did it. Kudos to those flight attendants. They are heroes. They did everything exactly right, because any misstep there and people would have died.
Passengers have only...
So that's pretty rough. That's pretty traumatic to go through something like that. And I got to correct myself. The plane that was continuing to move down the runway was the plane that was landing, of course. I didn't think about that. If you land in, you're still going to be going pretty fast. You can't just stop on the dime. So yeah, that's what happened with the plane. Very, very traumatic. And RIP to those who died on a smaller plane with the 5 passengers. But it's lucky. I mean, to have nobody die on the big A350, that's definitely a miracle for sure. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. All right, I have more to get into, much more. Now, here is Vivek answering a question. I've not watched this one yet, but I've seen it circulated quite a bit on social media. So the caption says, Vivek has an absolutely brilliant response to a New York Times reporter who tries to get him with a gotcha question on race. This is how it's done. Let's check it out.
You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy.
I'm not going to recite some.
So her question was, can you say you condone white supremacy? Can you say you, hold on, let me hear it one more time.
You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy.
I'm not.
Can you say you condemn white, I was like, can you condone it? She asked him, can you say you condemn white supremacy?
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which actually fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours. But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. The reality is, I condemn vicious racial discrimination in this country, but the kind of vicious and systematic racial discrimination we see today is discrimination on the basis of race in a very different direction. You want to know what the best way is to end discrimination on the basis of race? Stop discriminating on the basis of race. Do that, and we're going to move this country forward. And I don't care whether you're black or white or brown or anything in between. That's how we're going to unite this country. You people have been responsible for dividing this country to a breaking point, creating a projection of national division. I meet people from the south side of Chicago to meetings like this one of every shade of melanin, multiple, from man to woman, doesn't make a difference, who are hungry for reviving unity in this country. And you, with your catechism that you try to get to politicians to whatever fake headline you're going to print on the basis of this conversation tomorrow, that's what's dividing this country to a breaking point. Shame on you. Look people in the eye and tell them what you've actually failed to tell them for the last 5 years. Own the accountability for your own failures as the media. That's how we rebuild trust in this country. And until then, I don't have a lot of patience to play the games.
There you go. I mean, that right there was amazing. Like, I like Vivek. He's good. He's not Trump, obviously, but I like him. Now, that right there, I mean, you see the difference between him and Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley floundering like a fish out of water, just all over the place. But Vivek, straight to the point, good answers. Like, he's good. I think he did a lot of sales. You could tell where guys have that kind of background, where they're just really good at being able to speak and connect to people and make their points very concisely. So shout out to him. Okay. Trump's running mate. He could be Trump's running mate for sure. I think that'd be a pretty interesting team. You know, I'm not quite sure that he would do it, but that'd be an interesting team for sure. Absolutely. Okay, now we're going to get into Epstein here in a little bit, and I'll be careful. All I'm going to do is just read from official sources. I'm not going to editorialize or anything like that. That's not going to be what I do. So I'll be good to go. I won't be getting myself in any trouble. But before we get to that, I have a video. This is crazy. Now, this guy attacks a judge in Vegas because she denied his, or she may have kept him for a violation of probation. I got to find the actual story. But basically, he was denied something, and he acted out as a result. He attacks a judge. Now, I don't know how much time he got as a result of her decision, but whatever it is, put 20 more on top of that. You're going to assault a judge in the courtroom? Let's check it out. And I'm not going to be able to play the whole thing because it gets kind of violent. Like, ain't nobody getting deleted or anything like that, but you see what I mean. My man hopped over. Look at it. My man's feet in the air, hopping over the, is that a bench? The desk? Let's look. So it got pretty rough. The guy hops over the desk, the bench, whatever, attacks the judge. Now, okay, for you guys who can't see it, this is a male hopping across and hitting the woman. And the woman had gray hair in the head, probably in the 50s or 60s, something like that. Not a young woman. He's striking her in the face. And then you got the cop and you got, it might have been the court reporter. I got all kind of guys trying to restrain this person and strike him, do whatever they can to get him off her. It was a mess. Joe, SR says, if I was security, I'd be river dancing on him 100%. Man, I got a green light to do whatever kind of wrestling move I want to do. You're going to get the Hollywood Hulk Hogan leg drop. You're going to get the Rey Mysterio frog splash. You're going to get all of that. I'm going to beat you down. I'm going to stomp you into wine 100%. You're going to have Cabernet, Merlot, all of that right there in the courtroom. You're going to hop over the desk and attack a woman in the courtroom, the judge, my man. Look, I don't know how much time he was facing as a result of her decision, but whatever it is, put 20 more on top. Assaulting a judge in the courtroom with the seal right here on camera in front of police, you're toast. You're beyond toast. So yeah, that's what happened out there in Vegas. He got his, I think, probation or something revoked. Something like that. A decision was ruled against him. He didn't like it. He hops across the desk, attacks the judge, and then he gets stomped out by everybody in the back of the bench. That's what happened. Oh man, look, please, you do something like if I'm an officer right there, man, I'm stomping you straight in the wine, straight up. He's lucky he didn't get deleted in there. That could have happened too. Oh, that could have. Certain countries, you do something like that, you're getting you're getting your TV turned off. Shout out to Hassan. Shout out to Hassan over on the YouTube. You're getting your TV turned all the way off. You're getting deleted. You're getting excommunicated from life. But anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. I'm gonna play a video that might be a little bit graphic, not visually graphic. Don't misunderstand me, but it's gonna be a little bit hard on young ears. So please be careful. Please be mindful. If you have little kids in the audience, I'm giving you fair warning right now. Now, this is going to be from the now infamous and I think at this point viral interview with Shannon Sharpe, former NFL football player, now commentator, podcaster, mini personality. Shannon Sharpe interviewed the comedian Cat Williams, and Cat Williams had quite a bit to say about quite a few things. And he spoke about not only Jeffrey Epstein briefly, but also Harvey Weinstein. Now, we all know about Harvey Weinstein. You see, there's one side of Harvey Weinstein you know about where there's allegations of a casting couch where women will have to go sleep with him to get roles. And there was some other stuff that was, I guess, some kind of way involuntary. Because it's one thing to say, okay, you got to do this, that, and the third to get a role. And if you don't do it, then you can't get the role. It's different. That's different than outright assaulting someone. Overall, I think Harvey Weinstein was doing like a lot of sexual harassment and some things that he shouldn't have been doing that was straight involuntary. No choices in the matter, okay? Now, I'm going to play the video. It's going to be a lot to hear, so please be mindful. I've given you fair warning, okay? So watch this. This is Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay. Check it out.
They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there?
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency.
So you heard that from Cat Williams right there about Harvey Weinstein. Now, again, the story goes Harvey Weinstein was approaching women in Hollywood for certain roles and things of this nature. But what you're not hearing about is the men that get approached as well. Because quiet as kept, men are probably sexually harassed and propositioned just as much, if not more, than women. But don't nobody talk about it. Cat Williams don't care. He's like, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say what's going on at these Hollywood parties. All that kind of LGBTQ elemental P type stuff going on. In one of his first specials, he outed Professor Ogilvy from the Parkers for being for being LGBT in real life, saying that he went to a Hollywood party and saw him and another man in the room kissing. That goes on. Okay, that goes on 100%. Now, and check it out. He says he thought he was the only black guy that was going to be in this particular role. And when he gets there, you got 4 other black guys. He says that he didn't do the deed with Harvey. But if you got other guys there, then what did they do? And then we all know about, especially black men, what do they want to do with you in Hollywood? Put you in a dress. There was no dress on Cat Williams or Dave Chappelle. And then what did they say? Oh, Dave Chappelle, you're a crazy crackhead, and you just don't know. You got mental problems. Same thing with Cat Williams. They said Cat Williams is a jailbird, always goes to prison, likes to get high, with no drug convictions, no DUIs, nothing like that. But Kevin Hart has a DUI conviction. Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart's protege, has not 1 but 2 DUIs. So who's the crackhead? Who's the dope fiend? Who's the alcoholic or what? But I digress. Oh yeah, TD Jakes, all these guys. But golfing guns, exactly. Nobody should be surprised here. This is Hollywood. That's how it goes. That's kind of how it is. And now we're getting into this space where it's not even a thing that people try to hide, and it's not even really a big deal to just kind of do that in entertainment industries in general. When you're talking about anything on television, Megyn Kelly said it about Roger Ailes. I believe that was his name, from Fox News, where you got a lot of sexual harassment, a lot of quid pro quo type stuff going on cable news, music, movies, regular TV shows, all of that. You got a lot of things happening. Will Smith, another one. They said that when he was on The Fresh Prince, his sugar daddy was Benny Medina, the guy who created Will Smith in the show The Fresh Prince, which is why he was able to get the role. Okay, so that kind of thing does go on in Hollywood. People don't want to talk about it too much. It's on the hush hush, but he put it right out there. Now the question would be, would anybody come and say that he's a liar? One thing I heard about Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle, they would say things like, oh, they're on drugs, they got mental problems, all this, that, and the third. But I never hear anybody say that Cat Williams or anyone else is a liar. Now, I'm going to play this clip again from Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp and Cat Williams. I played it at the beginning, but I'm going to play it one more time to drive it on home for the segue into the Epstein kerfuffle, okay? And again, the whole Epstein thing is just now starting to develop, so we're still in the early stages of it. So I don't have all the information, but tonight I'm going to be up reading whatever I can, and I'm going to do a video on it as much as possible tomorrow. So check it out. Here we go. He's talking about Chris Tucker, another comedian, a movie star, and how he was friends with Michael Jackson. And he's going to bring up Jeffrey Epstein here. Okay, check it out.
This spoon in a way that can't really be quantified, if I'm being honest with you. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
One more time, let's rewind. Shout out to Blockbuster.
This spoon in a way that can't really be quantified, if I'm being honest with you. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
Oh, Lord.
Whew. That right there, this little hand gesture, Shannon's like, hey man, you're talking a little bit too heavy on this show, right? You're talking a tad bit too heavy on this show right now.
If I didn't know no better, I'd tell you he's the greatest. I don't care what you say. To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. Most of these confident people we see is really delusional.
Well, you don't think they asked Chris Tucker to come back in the second Friday? Smokey was all in Smokey. There ain't no Friday without Smokey.
We all agree to that, and there's no next Friday without Friday, and there's no Friday after next without Friday.
We talk about the road because you said that they don't.
Now, people are saying there's alcohol right there, and they're drunk, blaming on the alcohol. Look, right when the camera started rolling, Cat Williams immediately started dropping bombs. I'm talking about instantly. Before the bottle got open, he was immediately going in on Hollywood and everybody else. Like instantly. Within the first 5 minutes, it was off the rails. I'm talking instantly. And Cat Williams has always been like that. In his specials, he would just say things that nobody ever, people might kind of get offended, but nobody ever said he was a liar. That's the key.
Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Chris was allowed to make the decision. At the time that this is happening, Cat Williams is known for smoking weed. Willie Nelson is known for smoking weed. Right. Snoop's known for smoking weed, but none of us is really known except Willie. And I'm saying Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that. Right. He in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend. Christmas. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that? No. Me neither.
Yeah, like I said earlier, don't give me no nickname. It's like, okay, I meet another grown man, we become friends. I'm 40 years old, I got gray in my beard or whatever, and you want to call me Aunt, some kind of little name. Like, if you're a woman, if you're a female, you can do that. If I'm dating you or something like that, and you're a woman, again, I'm heterosexual, nothing against the LGBTs, but I like women. If you're a woman, you can do that. You're a man, and we're just hanging out, we're buddies, and you want to call me some little pet name? I think not. My name is Anthony. Don't even call me Tony. Like I said, don't call me Tony. I don't eat spaghetti for a living. I don't work the dumpster during the day and then go ride on my enemies at night. Okay, I'm not gonna go out on a boat and dump some 300-pound guy in the water. That's not what I'm doing. My name is Anthony. Okay, don't call me anything else other than that. If we're friends and we know each other, it's simple. My name is my name. It's, you know. Everybody knows my name is I put on a name tag, Anthony, right there. Don't call me no little nickname if you're a man. And if your name is Chris, Christopher, maybe you go by Chris, maybe Christopher. Christmas, I think not. If I was named Christopher and you, sir, called me Christmas, that's not going to fly. I'd be like, you know what? We're doing a little bit too much here. We're crossing boundaries. Okay, we're getting a little bit too comfy with each other. I feel uncomfortable. I don't feel like this is a thing that makes sense. Let's not go down this road, okay? So yeah, shout out to Cat Williams, shout out to Chris Tucker, and shout out to Epstein Island, okay? And there's a lot here. As I was showing you earlier, you got your main man, Stephen Hawking. This is a headline that came out. It says, Jeffrey Epstein documents show pedophile, meaning Epstein, emailed Ghislaine Maxwell to deny claims Professor Stephen Hawking participated in underage orgy at Predator's Island. Why would you email Ghislaine Maxwell to deny that? Why would that be necessary to do? Now, Stephen Hawking can't walk, can't talk, can't do anything. He's hunched in RIP to him, but he was hunched in the chair with a little keyboard right here, and he would talk like that. But this guy, as I was saying earlier in the stream, if you weren't here, Stephen Hawking, a little bit of fun facts about him. At one point, he was mobile. He had all his faculties, and he deteriorated throughout his life. And before he started to deteriorate, he was married. And during his deterioration, he was still married, and he had nurses around him. And what he wound up doing was leaving his wife for one of the nurses who was helping him while he was going into this state right here where he can't even move. I mean, that's dirty, man. Like, you can't even move and you're going to find a way to cheat on your wife. That's rough, man. Like, I mean, why? But this is what I'm saying. People do things and you be like totally surprised. But I've seen so much in my life. I've seen too much. I wish I could unsee certain things. Sometimes what I see haunts me. Sometimes what I've seen haunts me. I wish I could unsee certain things, but I can't. So nothing. I'm almost never surprised. I'm almost never surprised. I put it to you this way. I've seen so much. If a pig just sprouted wings right in front of me and started flying, I'd be like, well, I guess that makes sense. I guess that can happen. I guess it's some kind of way possible. I don't know what type of fairy dust or what this pig then took, but he's flying in front of me. So what am I going to do? Okay. If I shoot him down, is it going to be radioactive? Can I eat the pork or what? But anyway, so yeah, that's him. That's your main man, Stephen Hawking, tied up in the whole Jeffrey Epstein kerfuffle. Now, this is an article from Axios. Okay, this is today. What to know about list of unsealed names in Jeffrey Epstein case. And again, as I was saying earlier, what does Ghislaine Maxwell have on right here? What's up with these tassels? Like, what kind of jacket is this? I had that same jacket when I was like 6 years old for some reason, but not with all this extra stuff on it. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, that's 1995. That's your main man, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. So a federal judge unsealed hundreds of pages of court documents on Wednesday night from a lawsuit related to deceased convict ex-offender Epstein. The big picture documents include 150 names derived from a civil lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell, who was sentenced last year to 20 years in prison on sex trafficking and other charges for helping Epstein procure young girls. So part of the lawsuit, this is just about it. Who's named in the documents? So, of course, Slick Willie's in there. He's in there quite a bit. He's probably going to be the main guy in there. All right. Let's see. Trump. I see Trump's name. President Trump is mentioned in the documents, but no reference is made to any illicit behavior on his part. Prince Andrew is referenced repeatedly in the documents. Michael Jackson and David Copperfield. Oh yeah, we're getting into the names. These names are mentioned on the list. And this is Axios. You can look it up yourself. I'm not making this up. I'm not a liar. Axios and a bunch of other websites will have it because the names of the Epstein participants have been released. They've been unsealed. Okay. Michael Jackson and magician David Copperfield are among celebrities whom witnesses say they saw at Epstein's homes. Neither were accused of any wrongdoing. Publicists for Copperfield did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Some of the names, a handful of which Prescott has ordered, remain sealed, include alleged co-conspirators, alleged perpetrators, and alleged victims and witnesses. Now, my question is, why were some names revealed but other names were not? Why were some names revealed but others were not? I don't understand. Some of them 187 J. Doe entries are tied to the same person, and some entries include people who are now dead. Let me see. And they're not saying much about the other names. This is on Axios. All right. So we got a few names that are right there, but we're going to see a lot more. I'm going to go to another page right quick. Let's go to ALX. Okay. Let's go here. There's a lot. So I'm going to read some of these because it's kind of hard to see. I'll zoom in much as possible. It says, definitely didn't expect this one. You can issue a reward to any of Virginia's friends, acquaintance, family that come forward and help prove her allegations are false. The strongest is a Clinton dinner, and the new version is the Virgin Islands that Stephen Hawking, Patricia Ted, and was in the underage orgy. Okay, so this is about the underage orgy. This is from Jeffrey Epstein, I think, to Ghislaine Maxwell. This is what I was saying earlier about him emailing her about it. Here's something about Donald Trump. Did you ever see Trump at Jeffrey's home? Answer, not that I can remember. On his island, not that I can remember. Mexico, not that I can remember. So Trump is pretty much clear here. Let me see. Nothing about Trump. They're asking about Trump, but nothing is coming up on them. Let me see. They're talking more about Trump. Not too much else. He doesn't really have too much. But again, we're going to find out more as time progresses. I'm going to see if I can find one more clip, one more source. Then I'll keep on rocking and rolling. Again, this just came out. There's a lot to get through, so we're going to see a lot more happening. Epstein list. And they're going to say the same thing. Prince Andrew, Clinton, etc. Trump was named, but he said he didn't do anything improper. They're not naming a bunch of names that we really don't know about. We already knew about Epstein. We already knew about Epstein being linked to Prince Andrew and to Bill Gates and to Michael. That's old information. This is not anything new at all. But there is a full court document here that I will get through. Let me see. And okay, now here we go. I have a bunch of names included here on Newsweek. There we go. Thank you, Newsweek. Here we go. I'm going to read these names. And we have Ghislaine Maxwell, Virginia Lee Roberts Giuffre, Kathy Alexander, Miles Alexander, James Michael Ostrich, Philip Barton, redacted. Who could that be? I don't know. Why is it redacted? David Boies, Laura Booth, Evelyn Boulay, Rebecca Boylan, Joshua Bunner, Carolyn Casey, Paul Cassell, Sharon Crutcher, Bill Clinton. Yes, that Bill Clinton. David Copperfield, Alexandra Costaro, Alan Dershowitz. That's Trump's lawyer. Yes, it is. Dr. Mona Devancian, redacted. Bradley Edwards, Amanda Ellison, Kimberly Espinosa, Jeffrey Epstein, of course, Annie Farmer, Marie Farmer, Alexandra Fakai, Crystal Figueroa, Anthony Figueroa, Louis Free, Eric Gainey, Meg Garvin, Sheridan Gibson Boot, but Robert Giuffre, Ross Gow, Fred Graff, Philip Gutterin, redacted again. Shannon Harrison, Stephen Hawking, my man in the chair, Victoria Hazel, Brittany Henderson, Brett Jaffe, Michael Jackson, yes, King of Pop, Carol Roberts Kess, Dr. Karen Kudikoff, Peter Listerman, Tony Lyons, Bob Meister, Jamie A. Melanson, Lynn Miller, Marvin Minsky, redacted, David Mullen, Joe Pagano, Mary Paluga, J. Stanley Pottinger, Joseph Ricari, Michael Ryder, Jason Richards, Bill Richardson, Scott Roberts, Scott Rothstein, Forrest Sawyer, Doug Schosel. These names are crazy. Cecilia Stein, Mark Safoya, Brent Tyndall, Kevin Thompson, Donald Trump, Ed Total, Emma Vaughn, Kimberly Vaughn Edwards, Crescenda Valdez, Anthony Valardez, Maritza Vasquez, Vicky Ward, Jeffrey Weisfield, Courtney Wild, Daniel Wilson, Andrew Albert, Christian Edwards, Duke of York, pardon me. And those are all the names that are listed right here. That's 82 names I read with some redacted. Now, I'm hearing about videotapes. I'm hearing about audio tapes. I'm hearing about a little bit of everything. And also, here's something else. The redacted apparently are in alphabetical order, okay? So here's an example of what I'm saying. So you have Marvin Minsky, redacted, and then David Mullen. So you might be able to put 2 and 2 together to get 4 on that one, okay? Again, redacted. Philip Gauderun in between Shannon Harrison. All right, so they're not just, they are listed, they're numbered 1 to 82, alphabetical order, and some are redacted. So you can pretty much put 2 and 2 together to see what's going on there. All right. And then there's John Doe's, Jane Doe's, etc. I think that the names listed may not include the victims. It may not. I don't know all the names. If you guys know the names, y'all let me know. If you guys recognize some names in there that I didn't recognize. I don't know everybody on there, but quite a few names I do know. Alan Dershowitz, of course, people like that I recognize, but not everyone. Who's a famous M? Tom Hanks? That could be. Okay, let me see. The redacted. Actually, that fits. Yep. Okay, let's go back to the number 39 redacted. That does fit. It's like putting together a puzzle, ain't it? So check it out. So number 39, redacted. You have Philip Gadaron, and then number 39 is redacted, and then number 40 is Shannon Harrison. Now, HAR comes after HAN, so Tom Hanks could fit right there. And the question is, why would he be redacted? Why? Is it because he did something he shouldn't have been doing? Because Donald Trump is mentioned there, but they said in the documents that he didn't do anything. People were asked about him, but his name was cleared, according to what's there in the documents. Okay, so that's it right there. This is on Newsweek. You guys can see it. There's also a full list that has been published. The documents of the people, like the document is out. The full document is out there. If you want to pour through it and read everything, it's available. All right. It's definitely available. You can check it out. That's just what it is. So yeah, shout out to whoever put that list out, whoever got it released. You're doing good work out there. But that's all I got right now for Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sure there's going to be more. Once we really can dive through the document, again, documents just came out. Once we can pour through it and really put two and two together, and there's some video out there, allegedly, that's not been released. If we can get all that and put together a cohesive picture, we'll be able to really get down to the bottom of what's going on. Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not really sure about Chris Tucker. That could be part of it. Michael was on there, and he was good friends with Chris Tucker, so that's a degree of separation right there. And then the question is, why is Michael on there? For what? Like, what's going on? A lot of females. Hey, females get involved with human trafficking as well. They're not just victims. They also participate in the stuff because they had boys and girls. You never know what's going on. Women can be just as much of a predator as men. Quiet as kept. That happens a lot. Absolutely. You know, and a lot of times when you're talking about human trafficking, the women are the ones who procure the girls and the boys for the men, even if they're not participating. Like Ghislaine Maxwell, prime example. When you're talking about real human trafficking, kidnapping and whatnot, it'd be a woman that is put out there, make you feel comfortable. Like a woman will chat you up, especially like a broad. If you're traveling by yourself, you might be abroad and people can see you. They're observing your patterns. If you're a woman by yourself traveling, what'll happen is they'll observe your patterns and you'll be befriended by a woman. She'll be your friend. She'll invite you places. Next thing you know, you tied up somewhere in the pool of some cold water with no kidneys. That's how it happens. But I'm getting way too dark, so I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty. We got super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Shout out to Tom Hines for the donation. I appreciate you, boss. Hopefully we're not stopped up. Okay, we're good. Shout out to Apple who says, love your top 10 news stories of 2024 video. 2023, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Apple also says, I do believe the border should have been number one story. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely up there. It's up for debate for sure. Apple also said, but the Chinese spy balloon was very important. That was the spy balloon story was the one that kept coming up. When I would ask you guys, what were the top stories 2023? The spy balloon was always mentioned. That was a very big story. And it was so big because the whole country saw it go across the entire continental United States, complete the mission, and then get shot down. I mean, it was the craziest thing we've seen in a long time as a collective nation. It couldn't be, you saw it in the sky. People had phones. It was like a UFO was in the sky and we all saw it. It was crazy. Apple also says, but the honorable mention for 2023 news, Obama chief. Oh, yeah, the Obama chef. Almost that's a good one. The Obama chef dying right there on the Obama property in Martha's Vineyard. That's a big story. Apple also says Charlamagne dumps Biden Harris. Is Communita MAGA? Hey man, it could be. But they don't really want to say exactly. They don't really want to go that far, unfortunately. Apple also says, ABL, what are your 3 goals for 2024? Well, I want to just keep on putting out good content. I want to talk about more and different content, and I may do interviews and things of this nature, just really expand as much as I can. Like, I like doing what I'm doing, and I've come I could pretty much automatically do what I do, and I love it, but I want to do more. So basically, that's always a thing, being able to do more. That's all. I've spoken about Uncle ABL, things of this. I really want to do it this time, this year. Okay, that's all. Do more. Shout out to Borai Chowins, who says, careful ABL, Tim Pool's stream got taken down for talking about the Epstein list. Well, hey, we're still here, so shout out to YouTube for not deleting me. Shout out to Paul Peterson, who says, keep up the great work, ABL. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Jay, who says, YouTube, give this man his 1 million subscriber plaque with the bow clean on top. Yeah, man, I need that subscriber plaque. I'm well over the 1 million subscriber mark. I got like 1,025,000 or so subs. Let's come through. Give me the plaque. But yeah, they're playing games. Shout out to F Ranger Xbox, who says Chris Christie needs to run around his block about 20 times a day. Exactly. Thank you to Rock Revolution, who says social media influencers are DEI CRT agents. Thank you to Boomhauer, who says, I'll tell you what. I've taken 3 months off from politics now, and I see Joe Biden the other day, and he is bad off, man. He is falling off hard. He looks terrible, doesn't he? In the video from New Year's Eve, he looks like he's pretty much at the end of his rope. Legitimately weakened at Bernie's. It's like, man, are they gonna just let this guy rest for real, in the real sense, and go to glory, go to the upper room? They got him just, I don't know what they pumped in him to have him be animated, but it's like, my man, what is going on? I'm not sure who looks more like the Roach from Men in Black. DeSantis or Joe Biden. Unnatural in their body motions. Rebel Without a Reason says, Sonia told me she has a friend in the sanitation department, and she said that the cleanup after New Year's Eve celebrations in New York City is crazy. So many adult diapers. Disgusting. Disgusting. Yuck. And my thing is, okay, if you have diapers on the ground, what does that mean? Does that mean that people are using the diapers and changing themselves during their wait for the ball to drop? It ain't that. I don't like, okay, why would I do that? Am I going to get $1 million? Like, am I going to get some kind of cash prize? Is it like going to Oprah? You get a car, you get a car. All I'm going to do is see the ball drop. And that's all I'm going to do. Man, ain't no way. Ain't no way. How do you even retell that story? Hey, Paul, did you ever go to New Year's Eve in New York City? Yes, I did. And you know what I did? I had on diapers. I changed myself. I was wearing a dress to get easy access. Like, no. I refuse. Shout out to my main man, Joe Davis Media Network, who says, bro, I would have put my 6'10", frame and my 375 pounds of anger all on this guy like I'm the next Gregory Hines. 6'10", good grief, man, like Shaquille O'Neal over there. Yeah, exactly. You talking about that guy that hopped over the bench. Yeah, man, look, I would have stomped that fool clean into wine. I'm talking about Irish River dance, A-Town stomp, any kind of stomping foot motion. I would have given that guy right there at that moment. Thank you to Life with Sean, who says, what happened to Fetterman? He is now pushing a mental health narrative. They pretty much have been able to successfully rebrand Fetterman as a good guy, as a guy that has some sense. Obviously, he's about 75% off. He's not all the way there. He's a clearance sale at best. A clearance sale at best, a closeout sale at worst. Okay, but they're trying to rebrand him as a guy that has all his faculties, all his marbles. Obviously, he's a few marbles short of an entire set to play jacks. He is a few crayons short of an entire 64 count box. He's a few French fries short of Happy Meal, a few trees short of a forest, a few knives and spoons and forks short of an entire cutlery set. He's not all the way there, but they want to tell us that he is. Obviously, he ain't, but I digress. Let's get into the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also a Skype email in the description to be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen to talk about whatever's going on in your mind. All right. And if the Skype email doesn't work, don't blame me. Blame the white man. You know it's not my fault. Yeah, but did Tim Pool come back? I don't know what happened. I have no idea. If you guys are talking about it, I don't know anything aside from what you tell me. All right, let's go. Who am I speaking to? 972, you on the line.
Hey, Mr. ABL. This is Unified TV.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, loving the show. You've been on fire. You've been on a different level this whole episode, man. It's awesome. I love to see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I had two questions for you, right? Well, one's more of a statement. The other one's a question. It might be a reach on the second one, so I'll do the second one last. Second question at the end, because it's going to require some deep thought on that one.
Okay.
So the thing is, I heard you were saying that you're not really sold on is it Vivek or Vivek? I don't know. Him.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sold either, and a lot of it has to do with his history. And I know that he was backed by Soros, and to me that was a red flag. But I did a little digging on where he got his education from, and he went to a Soros-founded school. So the Soros family has a school that he attended. So he's been in tight with the Soros family for a while. And I looked at all the other alumni. Every one of them did work for the Obamas, did work for the Clintons, did work for the WHO, did work for the World Economic Forum, the CDC. Every one of the people that went to that school did work for the left, heavy work. So to me, it's far-fetched to believe that Vivek is truly for us. And if he is, why did Soros back him? So either Soros backed him to ruin his campaign because maybe he did turn on the Soros family, or this dude is shady. So I can't figure him out. I don't really trust him. He kind of came out of nowhere, in my opinion, and started saying all the stuff that we like to hear. And I don't trust people that do that. So I don't know about him either. And the thing that a different statement I was going to make is a different topic, but about the list. My thing about that is, and you might think this is a reach, but I presented this idea to one other person and they thought I was crazy. As far as that goes, we all know that Epstein didn't take himself out. We know that. But my question is this. This might be a reach. Do you think there's a possibility that Epstein was an inside man? And now the reason I say that is because I watched Sound of Freedom, and I don't know if you saw it, but in Sound of Freedom, one that Tim Ballard was working with bought an island and allowed the lady, because remember the lady was recruiting the kids. She was recruiting the kids there, and they were doing whatever they were doing. So this dude bought an island to lure the traffickers there, and that's when they made their bust. So the way I'm looking at it, for all we know, how do we know that Epstein is not a protected informant? I know that sounds like a reach, but when I saw that movie, I'm like, this dude bought an island so they could bring the kids there, so they could bring these traffickers there and busted them. How do we know that's not what's going on with Epstein? So it might be a reach, but I'm kind of thinking deep on this one. So that's all I wanted to say, man. Love the show. Like I said, you've been on another level this whole episode. I love to see it. Keep the fire going, man. And I hope you do, Uncle ABL. I hope you do interviews. And I hope I'm one of the first ones that gets to interview you, or the other way around, man. But I look forward to everything you're going to do this year, because you've been stepping it up in major ways lately.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, great call. Shout out to my man, Unified TV. Really appreciate the call. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Yeah, you know what? He had a good question. Epstein could have been the inside guy. There's been a lot of inside guys that, listen, I wouldn't necessarily doubt it. That was a very good question. All right, man, what's going on, James?
Hey, man. How you been?
It's been pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Bad. Hard start to a new year, but
yeah, man. We got the whole thing with the How far was the earthquake and the tsunami and the plane crash from where you are?
So yeah, that's what I was calling about. The tsunami didn't happen, which was really good because I was over at my in-laws, and all our phones go off and they start, going crazy. Oh, there's a big earthquake coming, and we felt it, but we're on the other side of the country, which if you look at Japan from east to west is not that far. And so that was shocking, not a great way to start off. And then another alarm goes off. There were probably 17 to 20 earthquakes that we felt. And they were shaking the glasses in the house, but it's still on the other side of the country. And it was really deep in the ocean, but it was only about, I don't know how many miles off the coast. But then we get a really big warning and the TV goes nuts, and it's like there's a tsunami coming. It's like 5 meters high, which is, I don't know if you guys know what meters are, but that's like what? It's probably midway up second story.
Wow.
And it's just going to wipe everything away. And man, we just started praying. We're like, oh Lord, please, we hope that nothing bad comes. And the water rose about 1.5 meters, but everything here in Japan's kind of built up just enough that if water does, come over, then it's not going to go up the canal or anything. So, like spillways, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was about as bad as we got. Now, there were some buildings that just straight up collapsed, especially over on that side of the country. There's it's been a long time since we've had one. Tokyo is 80 to 90 years now. Yeah, about 85 years since we've had a really big one, and we're just waiting. So it is kind of scary over here. The plane though, man, that's my airport.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's like right over here. And so my wife and I are watching the news this morning. They released the black box info. Both pilots said we were given the clear from the tower. And yes, they were, it turns out. 2 different flight, what do you call those things? I don't speak English anymore. Tower attendants. What do you call those? Anyway,
air traffic controllers.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so there 2 different air traffic controllers. One's a man, one's a woman, and so we hear the different voices. And apparently, the smaller flight that was actually taking supplies to the area that had been affected by the earthquake, there were 4 people on board. I think the pilot lived. He's in critical condition. The other 3 died. But they were said, yeah, they're given a clear by this lady and just pulled right on the tarmac. They were like, it's like a T cross or kind of diagonal. And it's like pulling out into traffic. Whoever pulls out is at fault. And I'm like, if this is one runway, why were there 2 controllers? No idea.
Yeah, that's weird. Because obviously, if you have 2 controllers, you're going to have miscommunication because one person's saying one thing, other one's saying something else.
You'd assume they were sitting right next to each other at the very least.
Yeah.
But no. I don't know. This is... Yeah, somebody... Boom says diversity hire. Oof. I didn't say that. But... Yeah, I don't know, man. That's one of those jobs where you, like any pilot or air traffic controller, that is not somebody you want as a diversity hire. You want to get the absolute best that you can, because I'm glad there weren't more people lost. Yeah, anyway, so my parents, everybody called, don't fly anywhere. I'm like, this is the first time this has happened since 1985. Cut that out.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's crazy stuff. I do agree with the last guy, though. I think Epstein is probably a plant. I mean, I thought it was probably doing it on his own anyway, but then the government probably said, let's see who's on your list and let's blackmail him. So who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're going to see how this whole thing plays out because they got the documents unsealed. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what's next.
I don't know. I hear a lot of people saying it's going to topple governments.
I don't know. I mean, because they had Prince Andrew, he was already outed. So,
yeah.
I mean, if they have somebody on this level or close to it, or if it's like a really deep thing that uncovers a bigger web beyond Jeffrey Epstein, that could definitely topple a government.
You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were toying with the idea of all this pressure from media and from governments and from the World Economic Forum, and everybody's really pushing diversity hires, and especially really hard on the colorful flag agenda, whatever that agenda may be. They keep adding new letters to it. But you ever wonder if they're not pushing this because they know this list is coming out and they want people to go, that's not that big of a deal?
Yeah, that could be part of it. That could be a reason for sure.
Anyway. All right, man. It's great listening to you. Crazy stuff going on, but good show tonight.
Thank you for the call, man, and stay safe out there.
Thanks.
All right,
you
now.
too. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Yeah, it's pretty crazy out there in Japan. He's like right there in the mix. It's pretty crazy to experience. I've never experienced an earthquake or anything like that being out here on the East Coast. Never happened in my life. So I don't even know how that would even go, you know? 912, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
What's going on, ABL? It's your boy, Joel Davis Media Network, man. How you doing, brother?
Everything's all good, man. How about yourself?
Man, I am doing fantastic. First of all, I want to tell you Happy New Year. You had a great year because you reached 1 million subscribers, and you have inspired all of us little guys to put in more work. So we love you, ABL. Thank you for being the example, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, anytime. So, man, I want to talk about a couple of things you brought up about, well, first of all, Charlamagne Tha God, right? With him all of a sudden denouncing Biden and Kamala Harris. ABL, you know why he's doing it, bro.
Why is that?
Think about it. Do you see how embarrassed he got in 2023 by my man Larry Elder this summer?
Oh,
I mean, that's enough to make you. It's enough to make you go home and talk to your therapist. You know, he always talking about therapy. He probably talked to his therapist, and his therapist probably made him realize it was a bad choice.
True.
Oh, man. I'm just saying, man. I mean, the way he got ethered, and then not to mention the way everybody was like, yo, man, we was told to vote this guy because of you and Cardi B and all these other people, and this is where we at. Even us rich folks losing money. So that's probably why he's now basically red pill. He ain't going to tell us that, but we already can tell the signs, man. Denouncing Kamala Harris, you know, once in a while giving Donald J. Trump the benefit of the doubt in their little world. That's basically them saying they want him to win because they're tired of losing money. What it all boils down to, man. People vote with their wallet. And I think the sooner that the Democratic Party realize that, the better off they may be one of these days. But that's neither here or there. But I do also want to talk about the Epstein list release. I'm pretty disappointed because a lot of names, they only released a certain amount of names. They said some of these names are still redacted and still not released. So my thing is this, ABL, if you're going to release a name, release these names, and you know you're supposed to be, as they said, transparent, then why are you only releasing a select few of these names? And the names you releasing are people that's already been in scandal anyway. You know what I'm saying? So It seems like to me, who are you trying to protect and why?
That's a question I have, because it's like, why, if we're going to release the list, then let's release the list. Why do we have certain people who are redacted? I don't understand.
Exactly. And you know what's even more crazier is that the list that was released during the height of the QAnon, about when Epstein first got arrested. They tried their best to shut down as many servers as they could because QAnon had all of the original list of names that was on there allegedly. So my thing is, we already seen, a lot of us already seen, especially us as conservative, just go ahead on and release it because all you're doing is making yourself look even more suspect. I mean, it's just sad but true. Also, I don't know, I think you said this on the show. I didn't, as I catch the late end of it. I don't know if you talked about David Chappelle's special.
No, I haven't.
Or anything. Okay, well, David Chappelle special was amazing once again. Nothing but incredible art. The one thing I can say is that he talked about the whole trans situation, and he basically summed it up as that people that that's in Hollywood that like to really stay in character for a long period of time to the point that they act like they really are the character, but they're not. That's exactly what how he said he felt about trans people, and they went crazy. They went absolutely nuts. The Twitter was saying he was being, transphobic, but us as conservatives was like, he's telling the truth, It's just like a lot of people say in the black culture, if you leave the hood and you get successful, but you never come back to, to donate or do anything special to your hood that you came from or poverty because you don't want to acknowledge it. Well, that's the same example I feel like it when it comes to this LGBTQ plus LMNP conversation. A lot of them don't want to acknowledge that before you decide to be this new gender, remember you were the old gender, right? You remember you did had to go and do certain things in that gender. So don't forget it. You know what I'm saying? Just because you had some surgery, it's still there. You can't change it. And last but not least, I'm going to say this and not hold up too much longer. Cat Williams, I've always felt like he was a national treasure because we might not agree with a lot of things he do, but he is right about the Hollywood. That's why he's never blew up like most comedians with his talent because he's never played the game. It's been talked about for years that there was a lot of comedians that have done things that they're not proud of to get into that elite circle, wearing dresses and stuff of that nature, especially with black men in Hollywood. And they do that because they want to take away that masculinity. That's all that's about. If they could get you to put on a dress or they could get you to star in a role where you're opposite of what you was raised and your values, that's a win for them. That's them saying you do anything for money. And I hope that nothing don't happen to Cat Williams because he was dropping a lot of information.
Right.
A lot. Yeah, a lot of information. And I think Shay, what is my man? Shay or whatever his name is, Shannon Sharp, I think he might not have that cat on there no more. Sometimes you have people on there for a repeat. I don't think he's never get invited.
Yeah, that was pretty rough, for sure.
Yeah, for real, man. But besides that, man, keep doing your thing, ABL. We'll do our show tonight after you get done and everything, which is probably about 11:30. Again, man, continue doing God's work. And I really do hope that you really blow up in 2024, ABL. Hopefully one of these days you get your own syndicated show and you be your own man, bro. You ain't got to worry about paying nobody but you.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Anytime, brothers. Take care. Stay strong, my friend.
All right, will do. All right. Shout out to my main man, Joe Davis Media Network. Again, Joe Davis Media Network. Shout out to him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. And the number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go to 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan, sir, I hope you had a wonderful Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Well, same to you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to talk about two things I know, we saw last year and compare them. I'm from a household of two different countries. I mean, I'm, of course, proud to be an American. My wife's from Indonesia. And, real quick, two things. First of all, you know, you did a story about the migrants in New York who didn't like their facilities, either too far away from schools or whatever, and were complaining. And what happened was Indonesia had a very similar thing just happen recently. They brought in the Rohingya, I forget they are, refugees from Myanmar, formerly known as Burma.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they were in a shelter and all, but where they were staying at, some of them started to really complain and be very ungrateful, even took the food they were given and threw it in the garbage and things like that. And well, the Indonesians there did not like it because they said, hey, you know, if you're going to diss us like this, you can GTFO. And well, I wouldn't advocate for this at all. An angry mob formed and attacked one of the shelters where there were 100 of them staying and ran them out. But, you know, just certainly, you know, hey, look, if you're going to come here, be grateful or you could leave is the bottom line there. And yeah, and the second one was, it was featured on SC Reviews. I don't know if you're familiar with SC Reviews.
No.
Okay, he's a YouTuber. He's from Australia, thick accent. He has put in a plug for you before, in fact.
Hey, shout out to him.
What was that?
I said shout out to him.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't hear you for a second. Yeah, this real quick story he featured. It was about two women. One apparently was, well, I understand, was from the U.S. and one from the U.K. They were in Bali, Indonesia, in a salon, you know, where, you know, you get hair done, you get your nails done, and things like that. And apparently, they decided to get real mischievous and, you know, try to demand that they leave without paying. And this one Indonesian woman's coworker says, "You need to pay. You have to pay." One of the women grabbed the Indonesian woman's arms and locked him, and was really threateningly, you know, aggressively yelling in her face, you know, to try, you know, I guess try to get out of paying for some reason. And well, these two women learned the hard way that, you know, you don't do stuff like that there, that they got arrested just before they could leave the country. And they were marched out in public in orange jumpsuits with black masks on their face, surrounded by police. A couple of them had machine guns. And then they were stood right in front of a TV news camera in a press conference with some of the officers in the foreground talking about it, it looks like. You know, and SC, unfortunately, you know, he showed also with it, like the U.S., too many of those smash and grab, you know, shoplifting sprees that we're all too familiar with. And my attitude is those are some things I wish we would do here.
Right
you
on.
know, just have police do their job and make it clear that if we bring you into our country from another country, you know, if you're going to be ungrateful, you know, after we show you some decent hospitality, then you could just leave. And I just want, you know, I wouldn't advocate the mob, but I'd certainly advocate, you know, letting them know, you know, we're not going to appreciate any ingratitude. But on top of it all off, just two questions about FatCon. I have two questions about FatCon. Maybe you know the answers to.
Okay, go ahead.
First one, yeah, FatCon is Chris Christie going to be the keynote speaker and campaign there? And my second question is, are they going to have Southwest Airlines be a corporate sponsor?
Great questions. Don't know the answer, but very good questions.
All right. I know you got 10 million and one callers, so I'm going to end it here. Take care and have a good night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Sure thing.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 703 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. This is Sean calling from Fairfax.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, you were talking about tipping earlier?
Yes.
Doing the digital tipping? Yeah. So I have a new evolution to the tipping scheme that they've been doing. I took my sister out for graduation because she graduated from VCU. So I take her and the whole family out to this nice restaurant. And we're all having a good time. Everybody's eating. Everything's all good. Bill time comes. And the bill comes to $230. Waitress says, "Hey, by the way, there's a tacked on 20% gratuity." I said, "Okay, no problem. I'll pay it." You know, so that kind of bumped it up to maybe like $270 something. And come time to pay, I said, "Do you want cash or do you want card?" And I know you always say do cash.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh no, you could choose to do either one, cash or card." And I said, "Okay, you know what? I'll do card." And so I insert the card, and she passes me a screen that's literally the size of like a Game Boy screen, and it says, "Do you want to do 20%, 25%, or 30%?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, it was 20%, but I'll give her a little extra. I'll do 25%."
Mm-hmm.
And so what had happened was on the first bill, there was a tip of 20% added. Come time to pay, it's already added, and I'm giving her another 25%.
Oh no. No. Look, if they're gonna add gratuity, you got the gratuity already. I'm not giving you more gratuity. I'm putting zero. No. We're not doing that. Yeah, nah.
Exactly. And the screen, I kid you not, was the size of like a Game Boy screen. And I'm sure that in the lower right corner it said something like choose to enter like a custom tip, in which case you would do 0. But when I was looking at it, and this is like a rush process, I'm like, okay, yeah, I was giving her 20, I'll give her a little more, I'll give her 25%. But it was a tip on top of a tip.
No way in the world. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Really, that's like an anti-consumer practice, because you're trying to fool me. Because, like you said, it's kind of a rush process. You're using just tipping normally, and then they're probably putting the device right in front of your face with them standing right there, right?
Yeah, and the whole family's around looking at me, and I told everybody I'm treating everybody, and they're all kind of looking at me. So I'm thinking I'm gonna be walking out of here, paying like one amount, and then I end up almost spending $100 plus more. So I was like, man, that's the new evolution of this.
That's crazy. That's totally out of this world.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to tell you. I don't know if more crazy stuff like that's going to happen, but like you were saying, you shouldn't have to go to like a Subway or some fast food place, or like sometimes you take the food to go and then they turn the screen around and they're like, "Oh, do you want 20%, 30%?" And it's like, come on, 0. You all just bag my food up.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So, hey, great show. And thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why would you try to get me to tip on top of added gratuity? Look, I have no problem tipping the restaurant where I sit down. I have no problem, and I'll tip you. I'm a generous tipper, but don't scam me, because now what's going to happen is I'm gonna see you might have got more money out of me if you didn't try to do something like that, and I probably won't go to the restaurant anymore. That's crazy. That's totally nuts. Now I'm gonna put 0. Look, dead in your face. You know how they come with the little jank, right? Hold on. It'd be something like this. They'll come to you. It'd be a device like this. It'd be like, okay, you can put your card in right here in the bottom of the device, and then you can, like they'll be right there. They'll give you this big thing. It's literally like this big. I got big hands, right? I'm a big person. It'd be real big. They're right there in front of your face at your table, hovering over your back, like how my man was in Goodfellas when he got hit in the head by Joe Pesci's character, or whatever that movie was. You know what I'm talking about. You think I'm funny? You think I amuse you? No, Anthony, he's a big boy. All this and that. Remember that? And then he had the thing right here, all on his back. That's how they be. And then they're saying, hey, you want to go ahead and put that tip in right here? No, I don't want to put a tip in. I'm going to put a big fat 0. I'll look you dead in the eyes and say 0. If it's already on the check, you got it already. You good. You put 20% gratuity, you straight. Now, if there's no gratuity added and then you ask for a tip, no problem. And I'll give you cash because, hey, taxation is theft. I know how it goes. When you get the card, you get that on your check, and it gets taxed and whatnot. So if I give you a 20 piece or 40 piece or 50 piece, they're going to tax that. You might get half, 75% or whatever. I give you cash, put that in your pocket and go about your business. No taxes. Don't file that. Lots of the IRS, lots of the feds. That's what I say. But that's crazy. That kind of got me triggered. But anyway, let me go ahead and digress. Anonymous caller, who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's happening?
Not much, but you continue on saying the same thing, and even that you get corrected about sanctuary cities, you keep pumping in that the Great Abbott is sending asylum seekers to those locations because they're sanctuary cities. You keep saying that.
So what's the problem? What's the problem?
Well, the problem at sanctuary city has nothing to do for the state that is illegal of federal authorities to send asylum seekers to different locations. Let me ask you this. During the Cuban crisis, thousands of Cubans came under the wet dry law, right?
Wet foot, dry foot.
What?
Wet foot, dry foot.
The wet feet law.
Okay, I'm helping you, sir. Excuse me, I'm helping you out. Wet foot, dry foot. Go continue.
Okay, so the law that allow Cubans to come here illegally into the waters of the United States, and they will give them asylum, right?
I'm not sure how the law works, but go ahead.
Okay, so if Florida is not a sanctuary city, why there's so many Cubans that were seeking asylum in Florida?
I don't know how the law works.
So why are you saying these stupid things that, because they're sanctuary city, that's what they're sending there? Why are you saying that? You don't even know how the law works.
No. You're talking about wet foot, dry foot policy. That's something else. It's not the same thing as sanctuary state.
Okay, let's say you don't understand that, but let me help you out. So why so many Cubans living in Florida that they were asylum seekers? If Florida, any county in Florida, there's no county or city in Florida, they are sanctuary cities. So why there's so many of them living in Florida?
Because Florida is close to Cuba?
Of course, makes sense. So why are you saying that they send them there because they're sanctuary cities? Why are you coming with it? Wait, look, I know you're trying to make money with YouTube channel. I'm not trying to beat you on that. I know that you got to provide certain content to your audience that they're dying to hear these things, that they are not actually true.
Well, apparently you like hearing it as well. So you keep calling me every day, so you like hearing it as well.
So you need to be corrected. You can't just be saying things that are not true.
So what? So excuse me, sir. What did I say that's actually wrong?
Okay, because a state or local city is a sanctuary city. First of all, sanctuary city is not even a law; it's a declaration, and it's a state or local declaration. Don't give in any authority to another state or local community to send people there because they're sanctuary city. Sanctuary city do not mean send people over here unannounced because this is a sanctuary city. There's no law. There's not even in the declaration doesn't say that. I already explained that to you like 1,000 times.
Excuse me, sir. Is there a law that says you can't do it?
Well, it's illegal for another state to
Excuse me, sir. Is there a law that says you can't send people to a state from a different state?
No, by the state. The federal government got to do it.
So, excuse me. The question. Excuse me, sir. The question was: is it illegal to send migrants from point A to point B when it's already in the country? Is that illegal? Where's the law that says that?
It is illegal at the state level. I just explained that.
It's illegal where now?
It's a violation. It's a violation of jurisdiction. A state. If I'm a governor of the state of New York, I cannot send anyone to another state if the other state is not agree. If not on the federal government guidelines, the federal government is the only one can send migrants. Or I don't know. You remember during the Katrina?
Okay. So all right. So hold on. But before you go there, can I go to New York?
Oh, come on! Don't
answer the question. Can I go to? Hold on, no. Can I go to New York?
Are you being stupid or you?
Answer the question. Can I go to New York?
Of course you can go to New York.
So why can't a migrant go to New York? Why can't a migrant go? I don't understand.
If a migrant is on the federal under a federal facility, the state or local official have no jurisdiction to go into that facility, pulling the migrant out of that facility, and send them to another state.
Excuse me. Are they locked up? Are they in prison?
Oh my God.
So excuse me, sir. If they're not locked up, if they're not in prison, they can leave the facility. They don't have to they're not state. Excuse me, sir. They're not state property. They're not inmates. They have human rights a little bit, so they can just go if they want to go. There's no law that says you can't take a person who's an asylum seeker from point A to point B. I mean, excuse me. They're not state property. They're not federal property. They're asylum seekers. They're in the country with a legal status because they got processed in. So at that point, they could do whatever they want. All they got to do. Excuse me.
So now they're legal.
Excuse me. No. I said they were legal. They got to. Excuse me. I said they have a legal status, which they shouldn't have because they're being processed in. But they're coming to the country illegally. So you're trying to play games. They're coming to the country illegally. It's not legal to come to the country by breaking into the country through the fence, the razor wire, through the water. They're coming here illegally through the Darien Gap, Panama Canal. They're coming here illegally, but they're given a legal status, which they should not have by the Biden administration, which, by the way, is policy. I'm going to still call them illegal aliens, and I'll still call them.
Oh, okay.
And I'm still going to call them illegal aliens because they're not. They're circumventing the law and they're taking advantage of what the federal government's doing. Okay, they're being processed in to the country, although they're bombarding it illegally. It's not legal to break into the country. They're doing an illegal thing and they're being rewarded with a legal status. And at the end of the day, if they have whatever status they have, if they're illegal, a migrant, asylum seeker, or whatever, you cannot tell them. You cannot say that they don't have the right to go from point A to point B. They could do whatever they want. And it's not illegal for a state to facilitate it. And if it is illegal, cite the law. Where is the law that says you can't allow a migrant to go from point A to point B? You can't give him a ride. You can't give him a plane ticket. You can't give him a bus ticket. There's no law that says that. And if there was a law, then they would be prosecuted under that law. But no such law exists. All they can do in the states where they're getting received is to try to impound the buses, but they can't do anything else because they're not breaking no law, sir.
You keep me in a hole. That I'm a hole, that I can talk.
But see, were you listening? What did I say?
I listen that you say that they can go to point A to point B. Under federal guidelines, the federal government is in charge.
No. They don't have control. You cannot dictate the control of a person in the country. You can't just say unless you're in prison, but beyond that, you can't dictate somebody's control. You got to be in custody of the government, state or federal. You can't control.
I just said.
No, they're not. But they're not in custody if they're not in prison, sir. They're not in custody, sir. If they're not in custody, then no.
Oh my God.
So look. The question. Excuse me, sir. Quiet. The question is quiet. Shut up. Shut your pie hole for a moment. Here's a question.
Where
are they? Look. If you don't shut up, I'm gonna hang up and move on to the next person. How about that? You want that? Would you like that? Here's the question: are they prisoners? Yes or no? Yes or no? Answer the question.
Prisoners.
All right then. If they're not prisoners, that's all that matters. They're not prisoners. They could do whatever they want. They can move from point A to point B. You can't say, "Oh well, you're not in custody. You're not a prisoner, but you can't move around freely." That's not how that works. Whether they be illegal, whether they be asylum seeker, whether they be a legal immigrant, you can't say that your movement is constricted. That's not how that works. But thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Now, here's the question. Was I wrong with what I was saying, or was I right? Y'all let me know. Can you constrict someone's movement like that? All right, let's keep on rocking. Let's go. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, hey, how's it going, ABL? I've been watching the show. He likes to argue, that one caller. He called you from a restricted phone number, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I swear, you got yourself he has a vendetta against you. That's just oh God, I swear. By the way, I want to call up and ask. The whole Epstein list. Some of those people who are not on that list, who are disclosed. You got to really think about it. They could be people who are who made deals with lawyers and probably was basically a eyewitness to other people doing stuff, and he's probably eyewitness for a crime, or they could be government agents. We don't know. That's
a very good point.
And also, if Chris Christie, of all people, if he concentrated more on his weight instead of this, I know I shouldn't be fat shaming or being a jerk about it, but he doesn't maintain his weight. Why? What makes him think he won't maintain our country or even being a governor of all things? Come on,
Right, exactly. People, they can see that as well. It's like, come on, man, you gotta get yourself together first before you want to become the president.
Absolutely. And not only that, I start like that the whole thing with Japan, with the airplanes, the earthquakes and stuff. I started freaking out. I started calling my girlfriend. I was like, "Are you okay?" that worried me to death. Especially you have somebody that you love lives over there. And then also that the Epstein the list, Seth Green, I think he was on it. Not only that, there was a comedian, I don't know what's the comedian's name, that he came forward and said, yeah, Seth Green literally said he was a P word, pedophile, and he liked looking at CP. And just openly told him that. And then a year later, when he came forward and talked to us on social media, telling everybody about this, he mysteriously committed suicide on an impasse, supposedly, jumped off a bridge, supposedly, in quote unquote. So, man, dude, I think some of these celebrities are putting hits on people, man, and that's why they don't want that list up.
Yeah, it's a lot going on with that list. There's going to be a lot of people, if, it's a full list, it's unredacted and everything, that's going to cause a lot of problems.
Oh boy, it's even causing problems now. There's even celebrities on Twitter saying, "Yeah, you don't put that list out." And it's like, come on, don't. It's like tell me you're not on the. Tell me you're on the list without telling me you're not. It's crazy, man. Hey, man, I'm enjoying the show, man. I'm appreciating your content, man. I hope you get to 1,000, bro. I'm 1,000. I mean, a million, bro. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. Hey, idea for Uncle ABL. Me and my friend Joel go something with you.
Right on, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for the call.
Hey, see you later, man. Lucifer and Libertarian out. Bye.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 773 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for taking my call. First of all, ABL, I'd like to formally apologize to you if I disrespected you in any way by using the more familiar initials ABL. From now on, it's going to be Anthony Bryan. Don't call me Christmas Logan. All right? So that's a good place to start. And I just like to say, I wasn't really going to talk about this, but this week, but I just wanted to say, not really a rebuttal to Ivan, but here's the thing. Those migrants have freedom of movement. Once they're across the border, they have freedom of movement. They can go anywhere. If we left everybody in Texas, they would be inundated with a population that they could not only control, but even handle. The grocery stores couldn't handle it. The municipal governments couldn't handle it in the cities in Texas. So that's why they're sending them. There's nothing illegal about sending people to other cities, especially the cities that said we welcome them. So there's nothing wrong with sending them to New York and Chicago and other places. And more importantly, it's the message that it sends by sending them there. You can't handle it in a big city. How can Texas handle it at the border? So we need to control our border. It has nothing to do with the Mariana Boat crisis. The Mariana Boat crisis was when Castro dumped all the prisons and everything else and let people come over. So, there were a lot of good people that came, but there were a lot of prisoners and criminals that came also that helped the drug trade in Florida after that. So let's get that straight. And then another thing, ABL, there was already an unredacted list that I saw with Tom Hanks' name on there already. So there was a list that had no redactions at all. And maybe it was redacted on that list because they included not just the people that visited the island, but the people that flew on his private jets. So it's everybody that had a connection with him. So some of those celebrities may have only flew on his private jets to other places around the world. But, here's the thing. That's what a guy like that does. Even if he was a pedophile, let's say, I guess we can't use that word. Even if he was accused or guilty of what he was accused of, not everybody on that list is going to be involved in that, because what they do is they want to get as many influential people on their side. So some people are more guilty than others. There's some people that already got in trouble themselves, like Kevin Spacey, all on his own without Epstein. So maybe you can conclude that, there's something fishy there that his name is on the list, and others. And then others may have just been politicians and movie stars that, you know, want to take a private jet to France or wherever they flew to. You know, people like that want to favor influence. When they have a lot of money, they want to try to favor influence with other people. And then the main thing I wanted to talk about was Vivek. ABL, you must know, and you've alluded it to before, for hundreds of years, Chicago, you know, there's a history of corruption. We've tried to, you know, curtail that a little bit, but that history is there. Like any city that has a history, that history of corruption is part of Chicago, and some of it remains. And one of the tricks that they do here is, let's say I'm an incumbent alderman. Aldermen are like committee men. There, you know, there's 50 of them here in Chicago. The aldermen, let's say there's an incumbent alderman that has been in office for a long time. And now he's got, let's say, a Hispanic guy that is running against him who's getting a little bit of steam. He's getting some momentum built up. Well, one of the oldest tricks in the book is I'm going to run another guy with him. And in that party, I'm going to run another guy with him and take the votes away from him so that my incumbent guy wins. And that might be what Vivek is doing, you know, and sometimes, you know, the people wielding the power and the people running don't even know that it's being done to them. Someone might have whispered in his ear and said, "You would make a great president. This is a good time for you to run. Look at Biden. Look at the trouble Trump is in. You have a real good chance to win if you get your message out there." But in fact, they want him to run because then a lot of people who are on the fence about Trump, but not on the fence about voting Republican, they may vote for Vivek, and the other people like us, or like me at least, will vote for Trump, if given the opportunity, of course, will vote for Trump, and that vote will be split, and the Democrats will then have enough votes. It's a common practice here in Chicago to do something like that. You run somebody to split the vote of your opponent. And here's the thing. I like what Vivek is saying, but I have also looked into his history a little bit, and there is that whole Soros thing. And, you know, who knows, you know, what's going on. So I'm a little leery of him, even though I like his message, but not enough to take me away from Trump, that's for sure. But we're going to see how much Trump has been disabled, and not politically, but disabled to even run. We'll see what happens coming in the near future. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Don't call me Christmas. Should I? No, I won't go there. Okay, ABL, thanks a lot. Talk to everybody another time. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right, great call, and that will be a wrap for me tonight. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I'll be back live again on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern time. And that'll be a wrap. So shout out to you guys. Thank you to everybody who's been watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I couldn't do the show without you. Shout out to the mods for keeping the trolls in check and everybody in line in the chat in tip-top shape. I really, really appreciate y'all. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. A link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. I think I have all super chats. Let me just make sure. I got a few more to read right quick. I'll read those. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Shout out to you, Decoy Voice. I appreciate you, man. You run a good show over there. Great channel, amazing content, man. You guys, if you're not subscribed to Decoy Voice, please do so. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining. Shout out to Spencer T, who says, keep learning Espanol, mi amigo. Oh, yeah, I'm on that Duolingo, man. By this time next year, 2025, I want to be like close to fluent. And there's a group that meets out here at a a Mexican restaurant and they practice. So I want to, once I get better, I've been going for about 2 months into Duolingo. Once I get a little bit better, I want to start going to the meetup and being able to practice in conversation. You know, I'll be tempted sometimes. I'll be out somewhere. I hear some guy speaking Spanish. I want to join in, but I'm not quite ready. I'm not quite ready yet. So, yeah, but I'm definitely going to keep on learning. And then I'm going to get back into French. I took French in high school because I took Spanish in the 8th grade, actually, for 1 year because I was in the matinee program and they allowed us to take high school classes early. So I took Spanish in 8th grade. And when I got to 9th grade at a different city, they were like, nah, we're not going to let you take over that credit. So you got to start over. I was like, I don't want to do Spanish 1 twice. So I took French 3 years. So I know some French and some Spanish. I'm going to try to get pretty fluent in both. What I don't want to do is learn Mandarin because that might be the next language to learn. But yeah, so I'm trying to just get fluent French, Spanish, and I'm not quite sure what else I'll get into. I might just learn a new language just because, just as a hobby, something else to do. But Duolingo, it's the truth. I'll tell you, it's a really good thing to use. It helps out a lot. So yeah, shout out to Jose Des says Spanish, Mexican Spanish. You know, the thing about Duolingo, I think they have when they give you the voice prompts, the sound prompts, I think it's slightly different accents. Because I know Dominicans speak one kind of way, Mexicans speak one kind of way. If you're from Puerto Rico, if you're from Spain, if you're from Europe, you speak a whole different kind of. So I know there's differences and similarities, and also like Argentina, that's, you know, it's different. But at the end of the day, I think I'll be able to understand it all once I get pretty fluent in it. You know, just the same kind of way like over here in America versus European English versus somebody in England speaking. You know, it's bloody awful, isn't it? It's like a whole different language. It's like, what are you saying? Makes no sense at all. It's bloody awful, isn't it? Shout out to the UK guys. I appreciate y'all though. And then what else we got here? Shout out to Lothair who says, yo, idea for Uncle ABL channel, me and you and my friend going ghost hunting. That'd be hilarious. If I find a ghost, man, I don't know, y'all might get deleted too. No threat. Shout out to you guys. Also, Lothair says the reason why there's people that are not on the Epstein list, they probably made a deal with the prosecutor to testify against somebody or undercover agents. P.S. Seth Green's on the list also, allegedly. That's what you say. I'm not saying that. Shout out to Kilowatt who says, like Trump said, they ain't sending their best. That's right. Shout out to Michael for the thumbs up. I can't see what it is. Like a Johnny Bravo emoji. Shout out to you. I appreciate that. It says for you. I appreciate that a whole lot. So that'll be a wrap for me. I will see you guys again on next time. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.